Joy on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Brian can be good in that capacity, but a lot of times he's a schmarmy. Like there's a whole, like if you continue to listen to this, just give the show 2 weeks.
Yeah, anytime you need a pro bono letter sent to Twitter, Brian's your guy. If you need him on a radio show, he sucks, but Bubba's still going to have him.
Just for those pro bono letters.
I didn't know that.
I summed it up for you.
You really broke it down there. You really did.
No, but the poor guy walked in this morning, he's smiling, and you go, too early.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
There's that low energy crap again that I hate.
It's the low build.
Maybe we can get working on that. Is it me or is it? I guess. Well, we do have an extra human being in here today, so we're full house. We're full house. All mics are full. Myself, Lummy, Dr. Dan, Babyface Brian, Seth, and me just in the studio. And then I don't think Red. I don't think you brought Scout today. Did you bring Scout today?
I don't think he did.
No.
I think they're working on some stuff out there.
They're wiring stuff up to see if they can. Yeah, it's always as I go to my engineers when we start the program, it's always we're wiring stuff up. Hopefully we can get us on the air.
Well, I know Macho's also working.
We're back here wiring stuff up. Say it, Lummy.
They're wiring stuff up. And Macho's working on Dr. Dan's headphones because we got to make sure that he's...
Wait, no, hold on. What do you mean Dr. Dan's headphones?
He had those gold ones. And,
they're broken or what?
Yeah, there was a part of the headphone kind of came off and I noticed it. So Macho Man's back there working on it.
Dan can't talk on a little.
That crisp sound.
Dan can't talk on a little loose of a headphone gimmick. It's just we're going to actually thwart the beginning of the program so that Numbnuts can make sure his headphones are tight enough to be on his stupid greasy ass head.
He has two pairs. So we just
so why don't you just plug the other pair in?
I have the other pair plugged in. I told him don't even worry about the old pair. It's the old pair that they're messing with. I got the new pair.
Why
on
are they
my
even
ears.
messing?
I don't know. I didn't ask him to. So
it's
cool.
To the detriment of the program.
Well, I didn't bring it up.
Well, see, we told us to stop talking.
Right now, Lummy.
Yes.
I'm looking at our All right, there we are. Now, okay, we're on Rumble. There we are. Boom. Looks like we're on. I guess. I don't know. But we shouldn't be delayed on starting the show because Dr. Dan's not his backup headphones are now broken in some way, shape, or form.
Oh no, that's why just Macho Man couldn't, and I couldn't talk to Macho Man. He told me to stop talking to Dr. Dan before the show, so I couldn't really.
Let me shut up. Just be quiet.
It's not Dr. Dan's fault.
We have a headphone update.
Okay,
we got to get him new muffs because those muffs are worn out.
Okay, well I'm not buying.
They blasted out his muffs.
I'm not
asking you to.
All right, tell.
No problem. Just letting you know what's going on.
All right, but. And you probably...
What does Brian think about all this?
I think Dan's being thrown under the bus a little bit here. He didn't say a word. He comes in and...
No, but I'm trying to recondition my guys.
Him.
I'm trying to recondition my guys to say, don't put Dan ahead of me. Like, me and getting this show on the air is your absolute number one priority. Just because Dan thinks he's all that, and he does all that.
You didn't do it this time.
And he does, spends $200-300 or breakfast, and like money's no object, and he truly is like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack, the way he just throws money around trying to impress you guys and get you guys to go against me. But his backup,
or just to be nice.
Hold on,
what a reference.
Hold on now. Hold on. The tightness of his backup headphones should not impede me starting on my
Little
show.
My show. $500.
You're trying to distract me for the Dan heater now.
That's a good distraction.
This babyface Dan combo is working.
500 on Super Chat. My God.
Hall of Famer,
It's probably Dan's account that he just threw that up there right there to get me off of him right now.
It says these are for new headphones.
Yeah, new headphone covers. So anyway, I just want everybody to know that the number one priority is to make sure that we're on the air live as soon as I'm on the air. Like, after the previously on, and, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. We were on 2 minutes before 6. When
I looked, it looked like we were not on the air, and you guys were messing with Dan's headphones. So what's wrong with Dan's headphones?
Nothing. It's the old headphones, had worn out ear. The plastic was getting in your ears. The black stuff was coming off, and I bought another pair. It was just a spare pair. It was coming. It was just floating around, and the ear thing came off. And then Macho and Lummy decided to take it upon themselves to fix it, which I appreciate. It's a good set of headphones, a great backup for anyone to use. I brought it.
No,
I did not bring it up.
Who are we kidding?
Nobody's allowed to touch that.
Yeah, hold on. Don't be throwing. I'm. You got me
for Jay or something.
You got the hook set on me. I'm believing your nonsense. But then don't throw in something that for anybody to use. If Little Purple Jersey or Wilbur's Afterbirth or somebody.
Rio.
I don't care. It's not
Rio.
my mouth. I don't care if someone uses
if Rio or Craig tried to borrow you.
Let him.
I just want to say the black men did not use the headphones
I don't
nor
care.
the microphone.
But what I'm saying is Dan is now saying that I have a backup set of headphones that if anybody would need them, feel free to borrow them. And I'm calling shenanigans on that. And I know Brian's got my back, too.
If Rio did use his headphones, it would explain why his muffs were bored out, Just saying.
You saying Rio has bigger ears than Dan?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying. What are you saying? There's a lot riding.
Are you saying that he has a BBE?
There's a lot riding on what you're saying. There's a lot. I mean, it's borderline. Either it's funny or it's it's Zookeeper. You gotta tell me why the earphones would be bored out.
The earphone muffs.
Why would they be bored out? On African American men, I don't think are known to have bigger ears.
I don't know,
than
man.
white guys. I think now you want to talk about penises. Maybe
my underwear is worn out.
Even Dan, who proclaims himself to be large, probably isn't as large as Rio. I'm just saying.
Not. Is he tall?
Dan may drive a nicer car, make more money, and do a bunch of other things that Rio doesn't have, but Rio probably has a bigger hog.
I mean, I'd like to see, we get some final results one day.
I mean, maybe we should just ask Rio, Rio, how big's your hog? And
it's big. I could tell the way that he walks.
I know, we'll ask him.
I'll ask him.
We'll say, hey, and he'd be like, man, I'll tell you something. When I'm fully erect, I'm 10 and a half, 11.
Okay.
And then, Dan, Dan, I'm going to call you
nowhere near that.
I'm going to call you a liar because I know your number. I know you've measured. Mm-hmm. And fully erect. Oh, fully just maybe even after using the penis pump. What are you? 9?
No, 8.
Oh, you're only 8?
No, not centimeters. We're talking about inches.
Ryan Utaletta, $20 in the super chat.
You guys, you white folk can measure in centimeters.
Hold on. That is, we may want to dump that. Us white folk.
No, I like that.
Why are you trying to make fun of
Brian banged a flashlight?
You're trying not to identify as a white person? You're a white person.
Sort of.
Whatever. I don't think you can have the best of both worlds. You're just a greasy Italian's all you are, my friend. just a Guido.
Italian should be a hue because it's not white.
It's a hue.
You know what Dan is?
Do I look white?
No.
Do you know what Dan is? Danny is John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever that grew up. That's you're like a Vinnie Barbarino that is in it that's almost 60. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'd love to trade places with him, except he's had some family tragedies.
Yeah, he had his wife die, and then his kid died in the Bahamas. And I think it was autistic kid died just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's sad.
When you're autistic, that usually doesn't mean you got any susceptible heart issues or anything.
No, not at all. No, it's a pure brain short circuit.
Autism is nothing physical other than your brain.
Yes, usually it's confined to the brain. Some people say there's gut flora that's bad, but
I mean, you could be an autistic and if you lifted weights every day, you'd have big muscles.
Absolutely,
you'd just be an autistic muscle dude.
Right, and you could live to be 90.
Right. Normally, there's nothing, no other kind. Brian, what kind of shirt do you got on?
This is gun guy, $10 rent.
If I can have the guys, if they're not busy fixing Dan's headphones, if you could give me an isolation on Brian the Babyface Matroni.
So I ordered this from Bubba Army Store, Bubba Army Shop. It's the Mr. Dan Diaco
No,
zero.
hold on.
I didn't see the M.
Hold on.
You see the zero at the bottom there?
But the way that it's, you've really altered it, have you not?
I mean, this is the way. You guys are selling this now.
No,
these are hotcakes.
No.
These are flying off the shelves.
No, I have the Bubba Army store.
That's it.
Bubba Army merch. Hold on here. Let me see. Let me find the Dr. Dan Diaco shirts. Or did we sell out of them?
We sold out of them.
I think we sold out of them.
Tax write-off. All the kids in Haiti got them.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think we sold. I think we
The Super Bowl San Francisco 49ers.
We do got the Operation Pigmentation brand new shirts up there supporting our new podcast. We got the TNA Bubba rookie card.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Look, you got a Bubba Repack Willie.
Bubba repacks. We got all kinds of different things on Bubba Army Shop. Bubba Army store, BubbaArmyMerch.com. We got the Black Ducks. We got the Brian Matroni inspired, very nonchalantly logoed polo shirt. We got the 3/4 zip, the Air Bubba Fat Guy Dunkin' a Donut t-shirts. Again, as I said earlier, the Operation Pigmentation shirt. We got the backpack, Lummy. We got the beach towel. We got the straw hat. We got the dog harness. We got the safety vest. We got it all, Lummy. And it's coming soon in about 3 weeks. Bubba Army
Alpha.
The very sought after fragrance. Brian, did you put any on? And did you put any on? You did.
I did.
Now is this? I think this is the first day that I've seen you, because it was just yesterday. Did you get any? Now, please don't be a dick like you are with the Dan shirt, and we'll dive into the Dan shirt here momentarily.
Are you asking him if he got any last night? Because he clearly was doing arts and crafts till 1 a.m.
Maybe that's a turn on for his wife.
Yeah, maybe that made stuff as Brian was besmirching the great Dr. Dan Diaco. Maybe Steph was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Take that D and make it an M, big boy." Oh yeah, there you go, buddy. Oh yeah, and then take that what's that blurb that he says that's coming out of his mouth?
It says, "I'm Babyface's bitch."
Yeah. Okay. So write that, and then you know what? Listen, honey. Listen, baby. I'm gonna tell you what's really getting me wet is that if you could take that little sticker and then put it over the ESQ, taking him out of the Esquire deal, because baby, you're a real Esquire. He's not. So cover that up. Oh God, I'm wet as hell.
Oh my God.
And hold on. You took the H from hero and made it a Z0. Oh honey, baby, you need to drop your pants right now, because I'm fixing to give you some I hate Dr. Dan Diaco oral more than you ever thought about it, baby. I'm gonna turn your toes inside out, buddy.
It's like you were there, Bubba.
Yeah. And then you know what? Right before I get you to have your party, we're going to take that Brandy Love freshly cleaned Fleshlight, and I'm just going to go to town on you, baby.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's in his underwear drawer.
So the great thing about this shirt is these are dry erase stickers, so I can write whatever I want at any time during the show on them.
So maybe you're saying that maybe we should maybe we manufacture those little that little blurb that you can write in.
Yeah.
And we make those and we sell those on the website so they can stick it on their Dan shirt and make Dan saying something.
Whatever they want. Like,
right.
This bloomin' onion is not crispy enough. Or,
right.
How dare you change the speed limit? Things like that.
How dare you? I'm still pissed about that.
Dan, let me tell you something. Somebody else is pissed about it that I probably am speaking out of turn. But your brother Steven is full hot on it.
Oh,
you know I had lunch with him last Wednesday, right?
Right.
He's like, "Have you heard Dan's latest?" And I go, "Well, I'm not going to answer that question."
That's a setup, man. You don't answer that one.
No, hold on. They try to set me up all the time. They do. Like Steve will be like, "Man, have you heard about Dan?" And I go, nothing.
No idea.
I just saw him yesterday, but everything seemed great. Why? Then sometimes he'll tip his hand as to what he might got on you,
right.
And then I can come back and flank you with and be like, "Hey, Steve's on to you might want to." Then you can fix it and he not know where it comes from. So we're talking. It's like, you know what? I swear to God, Dan, I just don't know why he just won't listen. And I go, "Whoa, what do you mean?" He goes, "Because we got this Karen that lives in our neighborhood, and she's like former military, like super. She was like very high ranking military." and she knows everybody in town, like every council member, the mayor, she knows. She's more well connected than we are. I mean, she's just. And so she somehow, way, shape, or form got the speed limit lowered that goes by Dan's house, the road that goes by Dan's house, and the main road that Dan, I think you got to travel. You have to literally travel on this road every time you go home.
Yes, I can't avoid this road.
Right, there's no way for you to get home.
Helicopter.
No, because helicopter.
Into the big backyard.
If she's mad about you piping up on the Lamborghini, she's really going to be mad when she hears a Bell Ranger come in.
That's exactly what I need to do.
Yes.
Because get clearance for that. It's a flight zone, and she can F off. I'm going to fly low right over her house and dump frozen turkeys.
You should somehow, Dan, try to get some higher private investigator. Find out when the next time she's having an event at her home, and then that's when you fly in. You know what I'm saying? And you have the pilot. Hey, man, come a little bit in. I need you to come in a little bit in on the south side. I mean, on the north side, and show him the path that you want him to travel.
Yeah, see that group of scissors?
So that you're right over her house.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's worse than a helicopter being over your house.
Oh, I know, because it's loud and windy.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, especially when the tail says FBI. That's when it's really bad.
Yeah,
it's just Johnny Looky See guy who has a helicopter, or the Channel 28 helicopter, or whatever. Even the Hillsborough County helicopter, because they're looking for somebody. But when it says FBI on it and it's right above your house,
not good.
I mean, you get a pit in your stomach. So anyway, Dan, Steve's like, he flips her off. He goes by her house and puts it in neutral and revs it up to like $6,000 and $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
He plays some real
Rage Against the Machine, dude,
or Rage Against the Machine, or something like that, like Metallica, he plays that as all the windows down, going 25 miles an hour
because she made me.
And hold on, with his finger out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and Steve's like, I've told him to stop because she is very well connected, and she'd just make life, matter. It'd just be easier for you to chill out and realize that she single-handedly got the speed limit in your community turned down from 35 down to 25, and Dan, basically you and everybody's her bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, she's wearing that same T-shirt Brian's wearing right now. Mm-hmm. She made you her bitch.
And
nobody slows Dan Diaco down.
Mm-mm. So, it's interesting, but you've been
pulled over 3 times.
Before the speed limit was changed, I was pulled over 3 times.
I know, he's been pulled over 3 times by the same guy, and Steve had to blow a call in about that because Dan blew a call in. Hold on. So this is how I heard it. Steve goes, so numbnuts Dan, he calls such and such. And I tell him, you didn't call such and such, did you? Dan? Dan's like, yeah, I called such and such. Man, I'm getting this handled. And so Steve had to call such and such and kind of reverse engineer it and make it go through the PD more than it went through such and such, because it really didn't need to go through such and such. It was more just a PD issue. And Steve got it done far less of you. Like you needed to call guy like person number 4, and you called person number 1.
Yep. Straight to the top, man. You should be calling for your damn Cash App.
Well,
Chad Cronister?
No, he was even higher than that.
Oh, wow.
He was higher than that. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I got good direction, and I executed what I was told to do, and it seems like the problem has been resolved.
Well, you've also been executed by your brother to shut up, go 35.
25.
Go 25.
How can you go 25,
We're
dude?
getting that thing down to 15.
How can you drive a
Lamborghini
Lamborghini 25 mile an hour?
I go faster than that. I clocked myself going down my driveway, and I hit 28 going down my driveway. So it's so hard to go 25 on a street. I mean, it really is for a mile or 2 at a time. It's like the whole time you're like, okay, it's 27. Back off.
Brian, can you imagine if Dan lived in your HOA?
Oh man, he couldn't live in an HOA community.
No, he really couldn't.
No, there's no way.
Because he everything he does is an HOA violation.
He
drives too fast. He'd
be a good neighbor. I mean, his house is well kept. He's got he's got money.
But hold on, he's Rodney Dangerfield at the gift shop. Because that's who he's at. He's just. over the top, flamboyant, loud, obnoxious, hard-headed, douchey.
We'd have good bribery at the HOA meetings with him catering and everything like that.
Dan, like if I was
exactly, I'd buy everybody's support.
Dan, are you the kind of guy like because your hedges are impeccable, but you do share hedges with somebody? Are you the guy? Do you just go ahead and pay for him to be cut, or do you make the other guy maintain his side? And are you the guy that yells at him if he doesn't maintain his side, or do you just maintain him?
I just deal with what's on my side. I mean, I have a good relationship with my 16 next door neighbors, and
we don't have 16.
The hell I don't. I got 8 on each side.
His lot's pretty big.
Hold on,
Bubba.
Hold on. You're saying your lot is so big that you have 8 people on one side and 8 on the other.
Yes, sir.
So where they have 8 houses, where they have 16 homes, you have 1.
Correct.
He calls them his serfs.
Man, what a dick. He's a dick. He really is. So anyway,
Steve's got 0 next door neighbors.
I know, but Steve asked me, can you talk to Danny about just slowing down and realizing that this is a bigger play and that she'll eventually just
die. She's getting old.
Can you just
That
chill?
almost sounds like a threat.
Can you talk to Dan about chilling out a little bit? And I was like, yeah, I'll talk to him.
Ironically, it probably will elevate the property value of the house. I know it sounds backwards, but it's becoming now. South of Interbay is becoming sort of like a golf cart community now. So it's almost kind of like taking on this Davis Island feel. And so she also diverted. Again, I support this. She also diverted a lot of traffic from.
Hold on now,
McDill.
If she has slowed things down where it's kind of a golf cart deal and you're developing kind of a Davis Isle feel, that really, at the end of the day, like you said, is probably putting 10-15% more value into your home,
right?
By doing that, on everybody's home.
And she significantly limited the base access from Bayshore, so there's less traffic in the morning and in the evening.
Dan,
so I don't hate her.
Dan, maybe you should learn how to work,
right?
And reward or acknowledge her or be nice.
So Steven did. He said, "Listen, you hit a home run. You able to accomplish what I've been trying for 20 years to accomplish, to try to divert some of this traffic. But take the win and go home. Stop being crazy about this, because now you're gonna get people to hate you. Because she's trying to do sound things. I mean, we're by an airport. It's gonna be loud. So I can't play my music, but you can fly an F-35 at 20 feet.
Dan.
He is Rodney Dangerfield out there.
Dan.
No respect. I tell you.
Yeah.
I tell you. This lady comes into the neighborhood and she's telling us all how to live.
I don't know. That's your Bernie Sanders or your Rodney Dangerfield, but they both work, my friend. I'll tell you. I think. Look who gets the first one of you two. Look at that.
Buy a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup.
Well, I probably would have stopped.
That's from Caddyshack, and so we put it in the chat.
I know it was in it. It was in when he was in the gift shop.
Yep.
But Dan, maybe you just go all in with all of her stuff. You go all in, and you help her. Be like, hey, what can I do to help? And I think everything that you're doing is great. And hey, can I help?
I have an idea. I'm just going to take a horse-drawn carriage through Bayshore.
She seems to be doing a pretty good job of getting everything she wants without him. So
right.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Knowing her, she probably. What I want is for you to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to get you to sell.
Do you think that she paid the kid to punch the kid on your team last week, Dan?
Yeah, I do.
You think she's involved in all this?
Where do we stand with that? Now has that
No, the commissioner.
Is it over?
The commissioner didn't do anything about it. He's like, I'll pay closer attention. I'm like, okay, why don't you start paying attention?
Now, did you get a clarification on whether there should be an EMT there?
They don't have to. There's no requirement.
Man.
Yeah, I think it's up to the league. The park. The county park does not require it.
I would say then, would the league then, if it's a business, be open to litigation?
Yeah, and you know who backs them up? Under Armour. It's Rise, sponsored by Under Armour. So I go right after Under Armour, which is like a multi-billion-dollar company.
Brian, that was Dan's knee-jerk legal deal. How about the more calm and collected one?
There's no EMS at these flag football games.
So what he's complaining about is at his flag football games, there's a couple hundred teams there, and there's a sanctioning club that provides the referees, and they officiate the games and the whole 9 yards. They keep score and keep the records. Well, they don't have Hillsborough County or any type of EMT or the medic there. A lot of sporting events
They're playing with fire.
like high school football games and even kids soccer games.
Yeah.
The league will hire. Part of the fee that you pay to have a team is they take a portion of that off and earmark it into a fund for EMTs, and it's just it's an added expense, and there's usually an EMT there that can immediately remedy or immediately offer some type of help on an injury, whether it be a concussion, talking within flag football, two kids' heads collide, or a twisted ankle, or a broken finger, or a broken arm.
You don't need them there for minor injuries.
No.
You want them there for when something major happens. How about when a kid has a undisclosed, undiagnosed cardiac event?
Right,
which happens now.
They're there with the fully equipped wagon that can get on an AED machine or whatever they got. I mean, Dan, those
they don't have AEDs. They got the manual ones because they go right onto you.
What I'm saying is those wagons, a fully equipped, county sanctioned, fire department EMT wagons, they have almost everything they need to keep you alive, don't they?
They could crack your chest if they had to.
Right.
Yes, they can crack. Cracking your chest means literally cutting you open and putting their hand on your heart.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, that they have that ability from that wagon.
Yes.
So, little Johnny's little, broken finger or his little twisted ankle is no big deal for them. They would probably get like a little board to get him off the field and then take him to the actual wagon and start nursing on him a little bit. But for your particular flag football team sanctioning body or governing body, because I know for the track, it's about $150 an hour. That's 2 EMTs and the ambulance from the fire station, not like some jobber ambulance. Like these are the guys. These are the first responders.
Not just a meat wagon, guys that have some skills.
Right, they're actual
paramedics,
Marion County paramedics.
Right,
and it's about $100. It's about $150 an hour. So I mean, let's say that those guys are out there 4 hours. It's going to be maybe like $1,000, but divided amongst 200 teams. I mean, maybe each team has to pay an extra $100. I think
we'd gladly pay $10 a player more.
I think there you go. I think each team would be like, we're more than happy to pay the added whatever it is to ensure the fact that we have a full-blown, EMS, EMT, fully trained. And don't forget, those guys got walkie-talkies. They can get other stuff. They can call for Bayflight immediately. I mean, they are connected into the emergency grid, if you will, and can dispatch it. They can get anything there they need. And so, so Dan, now the protocol would be kid falls over, cardiac arrest. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a doctor there. Of course, if you're there, you're immediately rendering help.
Why do I have to be relied on?
But hold on.
That's not fair to the other kids.
I'm saying currently, this is the way it would go. Some kid falls over. Some dad maybe happens to be a doctor. But chances are you may not have that. But some dads are trained in CPR. But still, that's not the same as a person that does it for a living, that has all the tools in the back of their wagon and can literally, the difference between calling 911 and getting that meat wagon out to you in 12 minutes compared to a minute.
Right. That's a big difference. You know that you can't live without oxygen for more than 5 or 6 minutes.
Right.
Before you start getting brain damage.
It killed my stepfather.
And defibrillators like the AED that we have here has saved so many lives, but it's really important to be used in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Otherwise, you don't have a shot. Now, CPR is usually underdone.
Now, Dan, let me ask you a question. If a guy's having a defib moment, like what the AED machines are made for, and and obviously when your heart stops, the oxygen to your brain stops. That's what killed my stepfather.
Yes.
At like 5 or 6 minutes of your brain not having oxygen, you've basically cooked yourself.
The problem is not just that.
You basically cooked your hard drive.
It's not just that not having the oxygen part. It's the buildup of the toxins.
Right.
So your brain does more activity than your muscles do, and creates more carbon dioxide and the products of metabolism and respiration more than the muscles do. So if you are moving the blood a little bit, you're getting rid of the pollution. And so the brain not only suffers from the lack of oxygen, but it suffers sometimes even more from the poisons that build up from the metabolism within the brain.
I'm going to give you a 1 to 10 scale. And that is 1 being, not hurting a person that bad, recoverable, to 10 being death. If you can get a defibrillator on a person that's having a defibrillator type moment within 1 minute compared to 15 minutes, what's the survival rate at 1 minute versus 15 minutes?
The survival rate at 1 minute is close to 100% if it's an arrhythmia that responds to defibrillation. And if it is still an arrhythmia that would have responded to defibrillation, and you wait 15 minutes, it's about 0.
Because by the time the people that my stepfather was, at the clubhouse at his retirement community, and they here's the most. I don't really know if you know the story, Brian. He's up. My stepfather Eddie is playing. It's Wednesday night poker night, and at the 55 and up community, man, all the dudes are down there playing poker, right? Wednesday nights. So Jeff was a mainstay there, and they're playing poker. It was 8:15 p.m. Not only was there was the restaurant portion of the clubhouse was still open, so there were 2 people, 2 employees. There was another employee that works, for the HOA or whatever the hell the company's called, and they have 2. Jeff falls over at 8:15. He's at the card table, and he has an AFib moment, and he falls over. Well, they have an AED machine. They have 2 of them, but one of them was locked up in the clubhouse, the pro shop. One's locked in the pro shop, and they couldn't get to it. And the second one they couldn't find, and it ended up being in a secretary's desk, and the batteries were dead. So they start trying to do and those old people don't know how to do chest compressions.
And you have to do them so much harder than people think.
Yeah,
you really got to try to push the sternum into the spine.
So listen, at minute 7, because I'm investigating this, at minute 7. Somebody that plays cars there said, I think I know CPR, minute 7. So he starts kind of lightly pushing on Eddie's chest, and they had called 911. At minute 16, the EMS got there, the Pasco County, EMT sheriff deal.
It's too late.
Yeah. And they got his heart going. They AED machined him, and then they did the paddle gimmicks while he was in the ambulance. And at minute 17 or 18, they got a heartbeat again, but it was like 18 bits, like it was super faint. Mm-hmm. And that's all from the time that they got him to the hospital into ICU. He coded 3 times.
Yeah, because the brain is pretty much dead at that point.
Right.
The other reason is that.
But hold on. So listen to this. The people that run the clubhouse, the people that are in charge of all this stuff. How horrible is it to have 2 AED machines, one of which the batteries were dead, and you didn't even think about using? They never even brought it out. They forgot about it. They have 2 AED machines. One was locked up, and the other one they never brought out because they forgot about it.
And they have a heightened duty there because it's a retirement community.
Right.
I mean, the odds of that happening there is infinitesimally higher
greater
than at a Longhorn Steakhouse.
Or right, exactly. So,
and Bubba, the whole point of an AED is so that a layman, a person that's not familiar with medical care, can find it in an emergency, use it, and save a life.
Let me tell you about these AED machines, and including the one we have. You literally you grab it out of its little box and you turn it on, and then it starts talking to you. It'll say, take pads A and B and put on chest. They tell you exactly what to do. Now stand back and hit the green button. And so you stand back. If nothing, then it goes through a series of there's
you don't check the rhythm.
Literally, Walker If he knew to distinguish A and B or 1 and 2 and green button, he could do it.
Danny could absolutely do it.
Anybody,
a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old should be able to do it.
Anybody over 6 could do it. Anybody over 6 could establish pet. No, I'm just saying.
Which happy birthday to my daughter. She turned 6 today.
Did she?
Nice.
Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday
I missed
to
her birthday morning celebration so I could be in here with you, Bubba.
Right. Thank you.
Can't wait till she's 18 and Danny's 24.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, wow.
Really? You're going there?
Oh boy.
Wow.
Danny. Dan.
Wow.
Are you advocating that your son has his way with his daughter?
Absolutely.
It's all right.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Never. You go around in like an airboat and then you find something and you harpoon them.
But bring
them in and kill them.
But here's the fucking thing: is like they're just gators and they were here way before us.
Yeah.
So we fucking ran them out of every fucking place that they habitated, and so we feed them, and they naturally are gonna bite somebody here and there. But man, the minute they bite somebody, they look for them like a guy that killed a child, and they find them, and then they fucking kill them.
It's so weird talking out of the other side of the microphone.
They should definitely just start focusing on this fucking python.
I mean, but they kill the poor guy, and he's just instinctually doing what the fuck he knows to do.
They were an apex predator. They're an alpha predator without humans. I mean, nothing that lived naturally in Florida was killing a gator.
No.
Other than other gators.
You have to talk into the mic.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I was looking at you, but.
Oh yeah, so you're saying like they were the top of the food chain in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as freshwater is concerned, absolutely.
Before we came around.
And now they got 2 predators.
Yeah, but pythons and us.
Yeah.
But pythons will attack alligator?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen them? Like, they'll wrap around them. It's crazy. They'll kill each other.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, Timothy.
Swallow a whole gator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smaller
He was a little
gator,
nervous.
they'll swallow a whole.
Awesome.
They're killing. No, they're killing.
A little nervous.
No, because all the people who had like giant snakes let them go in the Everglades.
We'll get it on track.
Yeah, they do snake hunts down there. But snakes are a lot harder to catch than gators.
What about the iguana hunts they do in like Sarasota and like Boca Grande?
Oh, really?
Those are all the iguanas.
Yeah, but I mean, when you've got, again, that's not an animal that you would expect. They have no real in a city.
Yeah.
Like, what's killing an iguana in a city? A cat?
A slingshot.
No. Yeah.
Well, the Everglades didn't have the reptile conundrum they're in now until Hurricane Andrew came. And Hurricane Andrew came, and all these pet shops and all these people that had their houses fucking blown down
That was the original dose of the snakes and the lizards?
Yes.
Was the hurricane did it?
Yes.
It wasn't just people being reckless?
No, it was the original problem was, 18 people didn't get together and say, hey, let's let our snakes out today.
No,
Hurricane Andrew
massive community.
And Hurricane Andrew came and brought what they need to survive, water. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if it was a dust bowl, but I'm saying, so the catastrophic event is a water-based event.
Right, and they like swamp.
Right, so they had major pet stores, Petco and all these stuff that have lizards and stuff like that. They there was a portion of Homestead and stuff that was just completely flat.
Wiped out.
Like
Yeah,
zero survival rate had you. So if you're Johnny pet owner, you're taking you're taking your family to Orlando. You're not bringing all of your fucking 74 snakes you got in the cages. So that's how
that makes sense.
It came. And so then there was a few thousand pythons and all these other fucking creatures that are indigenous to swamps and things that got released into, and Homestead's right on the fucking border. Because the hurricane went from east to west,
right?
So it just blew
the whole thing over. Yeah, so, I remember Homestead being just fucking decimated.
And then, boom, we now had 15 years. Oh God, no, Hurricane Andrew was in '92.
Yeah,
it was in '92.
30 years ago.
So 30 years ago, of them fucking reproducing has caused to the point where we have to have hunts now.
Yeah.
Where we, they pay you like $50 or a pound or what? Like
a pound, yeah.
Yeah. Like if you bring in fucking 3,000 pounds of python, I think they pay you. There's guys that make a ton of money doing it. But hey, no fucking thank you on that job, motherfucker. No fucking way am I doing that.
No.
They should do it.
I'm as beta as you are when it comes to that shit.
You don't want to be a snake wrangler?
No, I'm not Johnny fucking Snake guy at all. I think even Dan,
Dude, fucking penis pump for me.
What are you saying?
You thought that giant tent out there was the new penis pump for him.
What tent?
Is there like a tent in the kitchen?
It's a black bag. It's like
Long?
rectangular and long.
Oh, those are our tents from Pinecrest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Are we gonna do anything about the odor?
Yeah, you're fired, Seth.
Good morning, brother.
Did you get that money I sent you? We sold out.
They get bonuses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd you send it to me?
PayPal.
Okay. I normally get an alert, but...
I sent it during the break.
Oh, yeah.
After the show, make sure to check out BubbaArmyHQ.com. It's all things Bubba 24/7. And now back to the BRN.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show. An entire, a full house, a dream lineup, if you will. The dynamic, we all have different dynamics. Me and Seth and Red and Macho Man and Lummy, we put on X amount of, X type of show. And then, us with Dan put on an XY show. And then us with Dan and Jay for a little bit, that's an XYZ deal. And then, and when we have Brian in here on Thursdays, it's kind of an, XYB deal, beta. And there's just different dynamics that we have that the show has a different sound to. We used to have Anna up in here, and I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody, but I just got the room has such a different feel without her energy. And I'm not saying good or bad. It's just different.
I mean, she had a dark energy. It's okay to say.
Okay, that's on you, my friend. So, but we're all about the money,
Of course.
I mean, we're a very cult-like, funded show, if you will. Scout and Big Gulp today just throws down a straight $100 bill for Babyface.
Thank you, ladies. I love you. Stay safe out there.
Yeah. So boom. Wow. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive. Babyface, $100 brings the money. That's at the end of the day. That's your ultimate report card. Is what kind of money you bring in.
Looking good for me right now.
Well, I think Hold on,
500
for Dr. Dan.
Hold on.
500 didn't say who it was for.
I got text messages probably.
Please.
But hold on. I did get a $250 from Hierarchy, but it said this: Babyface / Dr. Dan, 2 exclamation points. So does that a $125 a guy?
Well,
The
Dan would
exclamation
normally be
points were
here
after my
on
name.
Friday. So what changed in this Friday?
Babyface / Dr. Dan. The only way to really score that fairly is to give you both a $125.
All right.
That still puts you head 100. You're 250. He's 125.
I'm 625.
No, we don't know the 500. The 500 was not
Absolutely.
No, it wasn't. Intellectually, I'm going to be honest, and if the 500 was just for the show. 500.
It says yo.
Lummy, who was it from?
Homo Sugarabo.
There you go. It didn't say Dr. Dan.
Clarify that,
500
please.
for Dr. Dan. No clarification thereafter. It was spontaneously given to us, and it's going to be a spontaneous gift. Whereas, Scout and Big Gulp, they locked theirs in at Babyface, and Hierarchy gave you guys both, both. So we can't get retro, what your 500 meant retro. Moving forward, listen, let me, because it would be interesting to keep score.
Nick the Gun Guy said that the 10 he gave earlier was towards me.
No, there's no backfill.
No, he says Babyface is
There's
up.
no backfills. Then Nick the Gun Guy would have to give another 10 and denote as such. I'm not doing backfills. Okay? But today, in the little comment section, if you do happen to give, PayPal, Venmo, both at the Bubba Army, the Super Chat on YouTube, just various other, the bits on Twitch, Lummy, does Rumble has what?
Rants.
They have rants.
Yep.
Lummy, you try to keep a score moving forward. Right now we're at Hierarchy gave 250. That's 125 per guy. Lummy, you got to keep in touch with this, okay?
Yep.
And then Scout and Big Gulp 100 to Babyface. That we don't know any others. That's the only two that we know. Moving forward, Lummy, now you keep score. Let's see who
comes out ahead.
And Dan, don't hire a click farm out of India all of a sudden during one of the breaks or nothing, okay?
Okay.
Be honest about this one. Don't try to Rodney Dangerfield yourself into winning, okay?
Nick the Gun Guy 20 Babyface Friday.
Okay.
Say it. Yeah.
So anyway,
Dan's crawling in his skin right now. It is amazing.
It's okay, Dan.
It's okay.
It's okay. Now, I will tell you this, Lummy. Did you see the business cards we got?
I know, they're awesome.
Oh, my God. They're so cool.
Business cards.
Thank you. What?
Who wants to be handed a piece of paper with your information?
You wouldn't believe how many times we're in a situation where we could be meeting a person and potentially be content, or...
I don't think we need to have this conversation again.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the business card thing. Who the hell wants business cards? And then pretty much every day for 2 weeks after that, me and Lummy were being asked for business cards.
Business cards are still pretty cool.
Do we have a copy of them?
Yeah.
Lummy, show them I got mine. I got my business card. We got a set of silver ones and a set of gold ones. They have the Bubba Army insignia. And on the very, very back, just a really sleek looking Bubba Army. And then on the front, it's got, I didn't want to expose mine too much, but mine says Bubba the Love Sponge, host, founder, CEO. Then it gives my cell phone number and then my email. And then there's a little QR code that a person could scan, and that takes you to Bubba Army HQ, which is, kind of where all of our stuff lives, Lummy.
Those are nice looking cards, though, I will say that.
So, Lummy, if you were, let's say you and Rhett at one time had a meeting with USF Athletics, did you not?
Correct.
Okay. And you were talking to them about us doing some digital stuff for them, starting with spring ball. Correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this.
All
right. So there probably came a point where you guys, they're like, okay, listen, we'll get back to you. Like, okay, listen. Then you had to exchange information. You guys probably said, well, here's our emails or here's our cell phone. There comes a point when you're doing business with some. Tell me, Lummy, when you're talking to the Tampa Bay Tarpons.
Yes.
We have a big event going on. I think it's the 22nd?
Yes, June 22nd.
June 22nd.
Yep.
I'll push it as we get a little closer to the deal, but write this down. It's a Saturday, June 22nd. We're going to do it like we always do it, where we're above the opposing team's bullpen. Is it $50 or $48?
$48.
It's $48 a person. It's all you can drink, all the beer and wine and soft drinks and that you can drink, all the food you can eat.
And it was delicious food last
Oh
time.
my God, it's good. And let me tell you something. It's not standard ballpark food like hot dogs no, man. They have some like little mini egg rolls and little like pigs in the blanket and little there's like a little tuna tart. Like it's pretty damn well catered.
I go to games like that, and it's a minor league baseball game, and I have better food than at the Buccaneer games. Yeah, and I go to the hockey, and it's better food than the Buccaneer games. I can't believe they cater so poorly.
Dan does have his own box at the Tampa Bay Buccaneer at Ray J, and so Dan says that the catering we get when we go to the Tarpons game
blows
away the what's, if I may, what's your guys' catering bill after a big game? $4,000? $5,000?
It's usually it's close to usually it's a little over 2 and usually under 3.
The difference between
we don't drink
all
that much.
The difference between all that is the Tarpons, just like the hockey, is run through Vinnick Sports Group.
Oh, okay.
Where the Bucks are run through Airmark.
And Airmark sucks. I was
Airmark's the same people that do the airplane food.
Right.
They do.
They do. They do the Philadelphia Stadium, and the Philadelphia Stadium's got much better food. It's not just Airmark's fault. It's just what they're given to work with.
Listen,
well, they're losing contract. They're
ahead.
losing contracts around Tampa just because of the quality.
Well, listen, and anything that anything that Vinnick puts his name on
is good.
Works.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I think we all would agree. We all are connected to this city enough to know that, Jeffrey Vinnick is like an unbelievable philanthropic, just class act of a dude. He owns the Tampa Bay Lightning, but he's so philanthropic.
Look at downtown.
Oh my God. He's revitalized downtown. I mean, he's done a really good job, but I mean, look at just how philanthropic. He gets $50,000 every game.
Andrew Fontana, 50. Babyface Fridays with Sleepy Dan.
That's 50 for me, baby.
Brad Hill, 20 for Dr. Dan to buy Little Danny condoms when he's 24.
Oh man.
Yeah. About that.
I'll
Now,
poke holes in him.
Dan's going to have a nice surprise when he gets home because I'm bringing all those Palestinian protesters from USF into his backyard. We're setting up an encampment back there.
No, because you're in with them.
Danny is going to be a little surprised when you let your daughter get pregnant by his rich son, and you get $6,000 a month child support.
I'm getting a piece of that Diaco family trust.
You're like, you know what? I'm glad Danny wanted to take my girl's virginity, and now she's pregnant, and we have a kid together. That's what? That's on you. You're going to be paying me a lot of money.
I'm a Diaco by insertion.
That's my Diaco 401k. is your grandkid that was conceived by little Danny not wearing condoms. Allow me, I got 50 from Susan Poitras, but it doesn't denote anybody.
Oh.
And then I got 20 from Michael Bourne, and I don't know how you interpret this or whose tab you put this on, but it says, for Bubba and up yours, babyface. So, I mean...
That's more for Dan
That's
than
not
his
for
baby
Dan.
face.
That's not for Dan.
Yeah, that's not for... I got to make a ruling. That's just...
Take a negative?
That's a push. That's a push.
Well, the Fontana one should be a
since we've started, what do you got so far? Who's done what?
200.
Because you're supposed to keep score of all this.
Babyface is $295 to Dr. Dan's $145. Xerxes 69, $9.99. A point for Dan, but love Babyface too.
Troy Lincoln, $50 on the PayPal at the Bubba Army did not denote anybody at all. So, Lummy, hold on,
So
really
Susan
coming in.
Poitras said, I had a note on my donation, $2 for Babyface and $48 for Dr. Dan.
People are now taking their donations and breaking them into percentages. Oh, hold on here. Let me see. Susan Poitras. Let me see if I click on it. Nope, it didn't say that. It didn't say message.
Oh, she just texted me and said she put that there.
Okay, well, you're the one you're the one that's in charge of keeping score.
So
of
it's
all
Babyface $297 to Dr. Dan's $203.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah, not too bad.
But I mean,
you took that
who would have
500
ever
away from
thought that?
Why do you think that 500 was yours?
Dan, let the 500 go, Dan.
I mean, there's nothing to indicate that it was for him. I'm fascinated that this narcissist next to me is like, oh, that was my money.
It wasn't.
That was for me.
He just won't stop trying. Okay.
Let me say
he cannot. Dan, just because you're losing right now doesn't mean you won't win.
It's okay, buddy.
It's good to be down a little bit.
Read the shirt. What does it say?
What?
I'm Babyface's bitch.
As of 6:52, 52 minutes into the show, he is. But he can turn that around. It's not a big deal. Anyway, Rhett, thank you so much for the business cards. I will use mine. There's times where I meet people and they're like, hey, I'd like to advertise on the show. Or, Lummy, you could have you and Rhett could have used yours with your meetings from the Tarpons and the, USF. Seth, I'm sure that maybe you might be in some situations where you might potentially would want to give somebody a business card. I don't know.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people get a business card and it's like, oh, what do I do with this? But I give people a stack of 50 so that they definitely will remember me.
Well, he's going to need a reorder soon.
Seth,
I got 2 boxes over here, man.
Gwendolyn Joe, $20 on the Super Chat. Team Dan.
Oh.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Seth, please don't be giving people out 50 at a time, okay?
Seth's like, I need more cards.
Maybe 2.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't have any and you need some, there's 2 boxes of Annas that you can just kind of make shit into.
Yeah, like Dan, we didn't get
start
you.
with those.
I get honest.
Yeah, well, we can. Yeah, I'll get Erica to do some arts and crafts upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, Brian's the arts and crafts guy. Maybe he can convert him.
He's gonna.
You don't want my cards. What they say about you,
Dr. Dan, douchebag of the year.
Did you say that there's also the QR code on our cards too?
Yes, there is a QR code.
Pippi Short Stroker, $50. Dr. Dan.
Uh oh.
Dan's making a nice comeback.
Oh, Uh-oh.
Congratulations, Dan. I hope you win.
Dan, see how much of a gentleman he is?
He's playing sympathy card, Dr.
We all
Dan.
win. We all win with this. There's no losers in donations. Come on, it's like being on the Jerry Lewis telethon and then being mad because Dan's juggling segment didn't do as well as my comedy segment. You know, it's all for the kids, Dan.
Yeah,
it's all for the kids.
Exactly.
I'm trying to find
just keep juggling my tests.
my PayPal. It's coming in at but it's
Fast and Furious, Bubba.
Like, for instance, Gooch, $50, but it just says money received. Robert Jeffrey, Lummy, $50, but it says money received. Brian from Philly, $20, but it says money received. Troy Lincoln, $50, money received. Do I where in there, Lummy,
for the notes?
I'm looking.
I'm saying you're looking for the notes. It should, once you click on it, it should have the notes on it. I don't know why yours isn't showing.
Yeah, because I think that each one of them, have.
They're probably all Dan, so we just give it to
Carolyn Freebie, 1999.
All right, so I did
note.
Yeah, so nobody's put notes in there, Lummy, or I've not been able to read them. So what's your score right now, buddy?
Right now it is Babyface $297 to Dr. Dan $273.
Hold on.
$25 difference.
I just got something. $25 for Dr. Dan.
Ooh, that puts me up $1.
Let me see if it comes through that way though. Hold on here. When I look at it.
Oh, $20 for Dan also.
Oh, I just got 200 from Romina for Babyface, it says.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Fridays, $100.
Woo! Oh, this is going to be crazy.
25 for Dr. Dan.
Well, we got to do this once a month, Bubba. This is a shakedown for us.
I know.
We're not having to shake anybody down.
This is a shakedown.
I did show prep today.
Yeah. You mean with your shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want a stack of business cards?
Seth,
I'll put them on top loaders for you.
I will punch you in the fucking face if I find out you're giving those out.
Dude, now that
my testes.
Seth, now that's a move. If you're in the sports card world, your business card is a sports card with your information in a top loader.
Yeah, motherfucker. So, here you are wheeling and dealing with these big sports motherfuckers. You're like, let me send you my business card, bitch.
I buy my cards at Walmart and talk to Babyface. I don't know any big card people.
Maybe that's your problem.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Thanks,
maybe you could introduce me.
Maybe fast dropping down the roads to get you.
Carolyn Freebie, 20 for Dr. Dan.
I think that
I think if Daniel Gross one. He already marked out the Lummy, and you're a bigger star than Lummy.
He doesn't. He's Lummy's guy. Like I don't think he want. I think that's his. He doesn't need me. And he also hasn't taken me under his wing to make me a rich Jewish man like him.
Is that what a rich Jewish man's responsibility is, to take a young blood, a young Jewish man, and say, let me show you the way?
You don't leave another Jewish man out here living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You get him in on the hustle.
It's almost like the Jew code, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, hey, I'm part of the tribe here.
And instead he took Lummy Goldstein.
Let me show you a couple things here as a fellow Jew that you could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Powers, I won him over. Him and I are friends now.
Mm-hmm.
We started out as
thank you, Troy.
enemies, and now we're
almost
lovers.
break
Troy.
Daniel Rose almost breaking Jew code.
Well, I'll talk to him next time he sneaks in here. When's the next repack, Lummy?
I think when you talk about it on the air, how he's breaking Jew code. Yeah, I'm writing that down. I'm gonna write that down.
Big country.
Jew code.
Dr. Dave. Thank you.
Thank you, Bubba Army for Life. Glenn Longnecker. I'll get it going. Give your cast though.
Yes, sir. Make sure.
What's up, JC?
That when I talk about my sister, that they make a short out of that.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Dude, you really had Gary Cantrell make a short of Jelly Roll because you said you were going to send it to Jelly Roll to watch?
Pack of dog.
No, I said I was going to attach him on our social media.
By the way, I talked to Gary Cantrell. He didn't know he was sending 7 emails at a time. So he's going to stop that immediately. And then he was going to apologize.
Brian from Philly, 20 for Dr. Dan.
Thank you, Brian from Philly.
He said he had no idea.
That's people from Philly.
I forgive, but I don't forget people.
What are you beefing? Who are you beefing with?
Everybody.
Mindy's Mark, 20, Team Dr. Dan.
Hey, Mindy's Mark. Good morning. Thank you.
It's close. Dan's making a comeback. They remember him during COVID saving everybody.
Dan's making a comeback?
Oh, yeah.
Whoever gets the most money,
373.
whoever gets the most money gets to get in the cash cube in the 8 o'clock hour.
Or whoever gets the most money gets the strap.
Oh.
You already said I was gonna get it, man. But
Or whoever gets the most money gets to get rid of the smell in the studio. Hang 10, bro. It's incredible Dan and I could work in these conditions with sensitive noses.
I know.
Hey, Dan.
Yes?
Don't start co-signing with that motherfucker. I just shot that right the fuck down.
But
You'll never get another co-sign from him for the rest of your life.
Woo!
I will about smells.
Banana goats. Banana goats.
Banana goats.
He co-signs on smells and on pancakes.
Oh, those pancakes.
Baba da.
Dan's going to be on the 11 o'clock news for fucking a kid up tonight at football.
I'll be the what?
You're going to be on the 11 o'clock news for fucking a kid up at football tonight.
We're getting in a fight with a parent.
Yeah.
No, he's I love the Bubba 199 excuse session.
Everyone at the
As to why they got their asses kicked.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, we were missing 2 players, and then I hear the guy in chat who's coaching the other teams like it didn't matter if you had 10 more players.
I found that interesting.
Did he get a profit? So that's why he's so cheap?
Yeah, like even with the team photo thing.
Carolyn Preed learned how to type notes into her donations, and she wasted her first one. Sucka.
He's been more faithful to the Packers than to his own wife. Yes. Welcome back to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
You know, if we were to compare Dan to a movie character and Brian to a movie character, Brian would be like Larry David, and Dan would be like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack.
I'm good with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking.
I got to rewatch Caddyshack. I don't remember the Rodney Dangerfield with the money. Yeah,
Rodney Dangerfield. Let me can probably send me just the one. He was classic throughout the entire movie. He was the richest. You know, he had the best looking chicks. He had these golf clubs that were
popped up and
he was obnoxious and arrogant and funny.
Carolyn Freebie,
rich.
$20 on the super chat. Dan is the man, babyface of the beta. Sorry,
you know, Scout and Big Gulp sent 25, but it just says money received.
That's definitely for me.
No,
we already established.
You cannot.
Can't you click on stuff there? Use your little T-Rex fingers and find.
XXX Gaming, $10 super chat. Make Diacos great again.
Randy Brindell, 25 on the PayPal. That goes to Dan.
All right, let's stop reading the notes.
Add babyface.
He just pulled ahead.
Now, hold on. Scout and Big Gulp, 25, but there is no denotion.
Oh,
man.
Got to follow the rules.
You got to follow the rules.
Well, Dr. Dan just pulled ahead. It's Babyface 417 to Dr. Dan 428.
Well,
good job, Dan.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, like,
What are you torn up about over there, Bubba? Something tells me it's good for me and bad for Dan if you're struggling with it.
No, it's just like I'm going through my PayPal, just making sure that, you know, indeed on the Scout and Big Gulp donation, I'm looking at it, I'm hitting it. I'm hitting where it says show story and or messages, and it doesn't say anything. It just says $25.
Kevin Barnett, 25 for Dr. Dan.
But on their earlier message today, it specifically said for you. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh, right. Here's $20 for Dr. Dan Lummy.
I just sent you the highlights of Rodney Dangerfield.
$10, Babyface Brigade, go Babyface. Come on, man. Why are you not calling mine out, Lummy?
I'm writing down first. Calm down, Babyface.
No.
Jeez.
No, Lummy doesn't like me. That's all.
Everybody likes you.
No,
everybody
likes him.
I honest to God think that you and Dan's popularity is pretty much right down the middle.
By the way, Scott Big Gold said the note said for Seth.
I'd like to split $12.50 to Dan and $12.50 to Brian.
Still love you, girls. Still stay safe out there.
Make the necessary adjustment, Lummy.
Yes.
I'm sure I'm messing him up. Here's Dan in life. Okay. This is Dan in life. Okay. If Dan, hold on. Dan is the man. $10, Lummy. This comes from PayPal, and that's Elizabeth Scherer.
All the females love Dr. Dan.
They do.
Yeah.
Except Scout and Big Gulp, the Hall of Famers.
Let me see here.
Because girls like guys.
So let's dance.
Here, hold on. So
what? So what? So let's dance.
And of course, Dan would have a caddy.
That is true.
That caddy looks more like me though than Rodney.
Dan,
he's got the burner hanging out of his mouth, just like you too.
Exactly, the camel. But
Dan is kind of right.
Dan physically looks more like
the hot dude.
Which
oh, sorry.
But
was that out loud?
His mannerisms are more like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes.
And Dan, could you see Dan whipping out his golf bag with a full-blown stereo system?
Scott, tell me go give the 5 stars.
Here we go. This is
the name on the car, though.
What did it say?
Serviek or whatever his name is in this.
Yeah.
Is there a name on the car?
Yeah, his license plate.
He pulls up.
And that would be exactly how what Dan would say.
Oh, man. I have to watch this weekend.
Oh, it's so...
classic.
Do you think...
Don,
Brian...
$50 on the super chat. Dr. Dan. She loves Dr. Dan more than
Well,
Babyface.
it says Babyface has grown on me.
But I love Dr. Dan more.
Babyface, do you think comedically this still stands up?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's a classic where it still stands up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the top 5 comedies of all we
you could watch it this weekend and get belly laughs.
Absolutely.
Top 3 in golf, at least. Too.
Here we go.
I think this place is restricted, Wank, so don't tell me you're Jewish. Okay, fine.
And his arch nemesis has the hat on.
Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh?
It looks good on you.
Lummy, $10 for Babyface. That's from Danny Werfel. Yeah, $10 for who'd I say?
Danny Werfel, who lit it up in the NFL.
I forget who, but it was for somebody. It was for
Babyface.
For Babyface. Here we go.
Oh, it looks good on you, though. Hey, Whitey, where's your hat? I say, this steak still has marks where the jockey was hitting it.
You know, Dan's real critical about his food, right? Yeah. This is so Dan.
Funny you are. Why don't you get yourself a real haircut? Here, take this, all right?
Thanks.
Ooh, people here. Look at that one. Well, the last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it.
Dan, right there. Hold on. Swanson Seafood. There's so many little things that you have to catch up on. He kicks out the driver, goes full throttle. Dan, that's exactly what you would do.
I want to go over there. Move over, Swanson. I'm driving. Hey, Phil! My dinghy's bigger than your whole boat. It's here. I almost got head from Amelia Earhart. Which way is backwards?
And he's going right into the woman that hates you. Their boat. Yeah. And Brian would be kind of like Larry David.
I can go with that.
Yeah, get kind of smart ass, getting yourself into various vicarious situations. Let me check my PayPal Venmo. Have we got any? Let me see. Troy Lincoln said his donation was because of Babyface. I don't know what his was. Let me have to go
10,
back.
I put that down.
It was 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Troy.
And then, hold on. And then 25, Dan is the man.
Oof,
and that is from Kevin Page.
Thanks, Kevin.
And the Dan versus Babyface telethon, which we didn't, like Seth, we didn't even plan for. It just kind of organically got into.
I feel like I'm on Dan's flag football team because he's kicking my ass right now.
Babyface, $459.
From
Dr. Dan, $566.
Oh, I thought you meant somebody just laid down $450 for
no, I was just
Babyface.
giving an
If somebody could do that, that would be appreciated.
Well,
I'll give you an autographed business card.
You give them the shirt off your back.
I'll give them this shirt. They can have my custom Dan shirt.
For $500 Babyface vote, you will have that in the mail to them later today. Will
That's
you not?
it, man. That's it. Consider it yours.
So
let me
what do we got on this smell situation here? First of all, Seth proclaimed it a few days ago. He walks into the studio and he's like, "Sponjo, there's something that smells real wild wildernessly, like animal-like over here, right here, Sponjo." And I was like, Seth, I don't think there's a rat trap over there. I don't think there's unless maybe Scout laid a little turd that's smelling. We can't find anything. So then Dan, I tell Seth that he's crazy and just being a little bitch boy and to shut up, and he does. And then Dan comes in today, and he says he feels as if there's a little smell there.
Yes, when I walked in the room, I smelled two things: Brute from Brian and
Brian
diapers.
does. Brian does.
Whatever else.
Brian does.
Oh my goodness, that was a zinger! Wow!
Morning Zoo on Z100.
Bringing the heat.
And his dirty diaper.
And the only thing that it would have not felt, you may have actually gotten, had you coming up with a more feminine, fragrance instead of Brute. Real men wear Brute. So Brian's not going to be wearing Brute. He's going to be wearing something like, Liz
Claiborne.
If you would have said the only thing that masked the wilderness smell was Brian's Elizabeth Taylor White Diamonds.
There you go.
That would have been funny.
You're funny, Bubba.
I know how to work.
You know the word. You know how to do
I know how to
comedy.
work. I know how to work. Dan comes in like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
hey,
you got the Brute.
You got the Brute on. So is there
Chief Charlie 215 $20 police for Dr. Dan?
Lummy,
yes, sir.
Is there something after the show? Do we need to turn the lights on and go on a little fact finding deal? Macho, Rhett, your mics are on as well. Is there something that's
Lummy said he can smell it too.
Yeah, it's right between Babyface and Seth.
Just like a good flashlight.
Well, maybe the next break I'll turn up all the lights.
I think Macho's coming in here.
And I can't smell it. But
But you had COVID a lot.
No, I didn't.
So you had it 3 times and almost died once. Dr. Dan saved you.
No, I think I had it twice, and I never was close to dying.
Yeah, but Bubba, in all fairness, look at
Dan. Was I close to dying?
Yes, that one time you were.
For real?
Yeah, you were
knew
sick
it.
as a dog, man.
I know.
Yeah.
You were sick.
Yeah, I thought that second time it kicked your ass.
Look at Dan's sniffer and look at yours, though, Bubba. There's no way. He has such an unfair advantage. He's going to smell something. I'm surprised he didn't smell it from the parking lot.
Oh, big nose joke. That's funny. You just smell like sexual disappointment.
Oh, stealing jokes from chat.
Which is a great joke on chat.
Oh my God.
Stealing. You need better
Snizzle. I'll
joke
give you that,
writers.
Snizzle.
You're like most Republicans. Your joke writers are terrible.
That's new.
Zingers back and forth.
Brian, you're a Republican. Don't forget.
I know. I'm MAGA. Yeah.
Now, has anybody that's familiar with you losing the bet? I was with Tom Bean for a little bit yesterday, and I told him that you had to vote for Trump because you lost a bet, and Tom Bean was like, "There's no way that he really will vote for Trump."
No, I'm a man of my word.
And I'm
My
like,
word
Tom,
is my bond.
I'm like, Tom, I'm thinking, he said he would. He's like, there's no way.
I mean, it's not going to make a difference in the outcome in Florida. I'm not worried about it.
He may say that he did, but there's no way that Brian, he cannot. I'm telling you, Tom, I think he's a man of his word.
Troy Lincoln, $10 for Babyface.
He said it was a request for money, though. He wanted money. He wanted to be paid to have to listen to him.
Doesn't matter. It's still for me.
Oh.
He paid.
So anyway, he has to. You have to vote for Donald Trump, MAGA.
Yeah.
And have you caught any flack from anybody?
No, not yet.
Does your wife know?
I don't think she would really care at the end of the day. I get to cancel my vote out with her vote anyways.
Now, is there no longer voting by mail in Florida?
No, there is. You just have to apply for it every year, which is fine.
So you just apply for it, tell them where you live, and they send it to you?
Yes, because people move, and so to send out ballots to addresses that are 7 years old is stupid.
So what do you just go on the county election? You
go to your election site, your county election site, and you update your information, and you enroll and say that you want mail-in ballots.
And you show them your ID.
You get to take a picture of your ID, or
you show it to them. You bring your ID to them, and
you can do it online.
I want to do it online, Lummy. I don't want to be. I don't want to go anywhere. I hate going to places.
You know, one of the deficiencies in the Constitution of the United States is giving so much power to the states for voting rights and voting laws. And this was a disaster for 200 years because the states were all very different on who they allowed to vote. In the very beginning, you had to be a white, rich landowner over 21 to vote. And then eventually they started, making it more clear and more fair. Women didn't get a right to vote until the 19th Amendment in 1920. Indians didn't get a right to vote until the 60s. So
I feel sorry for the women.
And because of all the different rules, even though
what about
black people were given the right to vote in the 1860s, but the southern states did things like poll taxes and poll testing.
Yeah.
And they did white primaries where you could only vote on the primary if you were white.
So the South would make it hard for a black guy.
Yes,
and they only counted
laws,
as 3/5 of a person.
Really?
That was when they were originally doing the distribution of people in America.
Yeah, the census.
But that was that was in 1700s, dude. That wasn't like the 1900s. I'm talking about recent stuff.
Still had to do with voting and representation.
Right.
And because that's
representation before ejaculation. That's what they always say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's happening now is that again, there's some inconsistencies in the way voting is done, and I think that's a shame because I think it's not really fair that one state's voting laws, which may allow
isn't it as egregious as? I think ours is pretty fair.
I think ours is good, but not every state's is.
I know, but I think ours is fair, and that's where we live. But I do know that I think, and please, you and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that there, Fulton County in Georgia, or there are some places that have, they have such lax rules where you don't even have to show an ID. You just roll up with a name. And so some of these people go and look at people that have died, and they'll roll in and say, "Hey, I'm Gertrude McGillicuddy."
There's been very few instances of that being documented happening, but it does happen. But
it happens all the time.
Very, very. I mean, there's 0% chance of it swinging the outcome of an entire election.
You have no factual basis to say something as definitive as that.
As dead people
as
voting.
As definitive as that, you have no foundation to say that. That's absolutely
there
made
have
a
been
difference
studies
over the
on
years.
it. There's absolutely been a study on
by
it.
the guy that won.
Dead people vote. I mean, look at the people who were convicted of voting multiple times were all from the villages, and they all voted for Trump. So you want to talk about that? Let's be intellectually honest about it, Dan. Who were the convicted?
Okay, well, the ones that were convicted most recently were in New York for doing it. So it happens all over the place. It happens in every election, state elections, local elections, and federal elections.
Well, local elections is where it could make a difference.
All voting should be done with an identification, and it should be done either in person or a requested ballot within 90 or 180 days of the election at that address. I don't think it's fair or legal that people can get their votes bundled and one guy can dump off 100 ballots or 1,000 ballots. I think that's unconscionable. It opens the room and the opportunity for manipulation.
Production without the
and fraud. Votes should be as sacred as your Social Security number and your Social Security filing. People have to show their ID to get a pack of cigarettes, but not to vote. It's ridiculous.
But how many?
And I don't think it's too much of a burden to ask for a damn ID.
But I don't know that there is there's not like hundreds of those type of places, are there?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of states that allow bundling. Oh, here we go.
Boogie1122, $20. Dr. Dan is a hero to me.
I just want one person to have one vote and make it count.
Perfectly fair. I don't disagree with that at all.
So let me after the show.
It should be a national holiday.
I don't
disagree with that either.
Or it should be done on a weekend. A time when it's easier for people to vote.
I really like the national holiday deal. I mean that it and then it with the employers encouraging their employees, you get the day off paid, please go out and vote. Please go out and vote. That's what today is for, National Voting Day. It's a federal holiday. Banks are closed. Schools are closed. Post office is closed. All government sites are closed except for the polling places. And each employer, it's a federal holiday. I think as an employer you have to give out federal. I think as an employer you have to give out. You have to recognize federal holidays. Do you not?
No, you don't have to. No,
really.
you don't
The
have
banks
to.
do.
Dude, does anybody know why we vote on Tuesdays?
No, I don't.
Why is that a thing? Why is the presidential election on a Tuesday? I'm sure it has to do with something way back in the day.
Troy Lincoln, $100 for Dr. Dan Esquire.
Oof, it's a blowout.
I don't know. Let me ask old girl. Hey, Alexa, why are elections on Tuesdays?
I know about a number of political election instances on May 7, 2024, including the 2024 Indiana Republican for Governor election for governor, the 2024 Indiana Democratic
hey,
for
Alexa,
governor
be quiet, please. Shut your hole.
Hall of Fame Scout Big Oak 20 for Babyface, Beach Meadow Detectives.
That would be an interesting. That is an interesting question. So anyway, Lummy, after the show, let's go all lights on and see if we can find potentially what this smell is. I don't smell it. Does it smell ratty? Does it smell?
It smells like a diaper. It smells like a dirty
poopy?
diaper.
Smells poopy?
It smells poopy. Old poopy.
Like you would know.
Poop.
Hold on. Like you would know what a dirty diaper smells like.
Well, dude, I know.
mean,
you don't think I know what feces smell like? I've been a doctor for 30 years.
I know you know what poop smells like.
Yeah.
But you've never changed a dirty diaper.
So I still know what they smell like.
I know.
I've smelt them.
But I mean, how?
I'll leave that dirty diaper work to Brian.
Dan, that's not really a good look.
Yeah, it
as
is.
a man.
Yeah, it is.
That,
what guy would like to change diapers? Who here, raise your hand if you like changing diapers.
So the reason that the election is on Tuesdays is because from 1845, because people had to travel and because the country was very heavily Christian. So
Dan, you might live like 15 miles from the nearest election deal, and you have to take your horse and buggy to get there.
So
you left Monday to get there.
And Wednesday was normally a market day, and since so many people were farmers, Tuesday was the best day.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it seemed like Friday would actually have worked better, but whatever. because
Friday was also considered a market day for the weekend.
We don't know what the settlers thought Friday was.
Well, no, that's what it's saying. It's saying they had market days.
Who's the first person to start that today is today? Meaning, like, where? No, like, hear me out.
Like the calendar?
Yeah, like who started out saying, okay, today's Monday. Like the day the calendar started. What day?
It has to do with
Was it the Incas? Was it the Mayans? Who started Who started how we keep score of time?
Okay, it's a lot of different cultures started it, and it was all based on the stars. And so when the sun and the,
we really probably don't have any idea of really how long we've been here.
We have a pretty good system, though. When the sun's up and then it goes down, and that's a day.
I understand that.
It works pretty well.
I know, but how can they backfill how much that place was around if you're just like again the question is somebody somewhere that this is BC 0. And then BC 1, year 1.
Well, you know what BC stands for, right?
Before Christ.
Okay.
So again, that's all based on. So you have to be somewhat religious and believe in the Jesus Christ concept to even recognize maybe today really isn't Friday, May 3rd, 2024 years. No, maybe it's not.
Well, in the Mayan calendar, it's like 4,000
But
years.
chances are, today isn't that.
Right.
Right.
This is blowing my mind.
What I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like, who decided? Okay, we're at year 1.
Here's what happened, Bubba. When man stopped becoming nomadic and started becoming a farmer and started settling down, and instead of becoming a hunter-gatherer, became more of an agricultural entity, we had to understand the seasons. And the seasons are clearly marked twice a year when the day and the night are exactly 12 hours in March 21st and September 21st or 22nd. And so most calendars started or stopped or had that as a significant day, and then they started working backwards from that.
I know, but like, how did they know what truly was year one.
Different societies had different year ones. The Mayans had a year one. The Jews had a year one.
So maybe Seth's year one's not same as a whatever.
It's not. But we, as a society, we've all decided to play by the same rules in the same time. So otherwise,
I mean,
did
they have a big summit?
Except Indiana, who doesn't.
Did they have a big summit and said, okay?
Yeah, 1582, Pope Gregory.
So in 1582,
that's the Gregorian calendar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in 1582, which let's be honest, by at least their accounts, they're 1,582 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Well, who's to say that there wasn't a whole bunch of years before they kept keeping score?
Of course there were,
and they
Bubba.
go backwards. It's called BC.
The point is that, like, before the Earth had agreed on one central time system, you had all of these different civilizations keeping their own record of time.
Right.
So you can go back and you can look, who started recording days of the week? Well, some places are going to tell you that it was in the year 300 by the Roman Empire. Other places are going to tell you that it was the Babylonians looking up at the stars in 2000 BC. Every civilization had their own form of timekeeping.
So how did they? Who made the decision that we're going to go with this one?
The
Gregorian calendar.
That was it. That standardized it.
Yeah. That's
But
when
we
everybody bought into the same program. But before that, I mean, it was just anyone and everyone.
And for everybody to buy into the same program, they probably just didn't say, okay, your program's right and mine's wrong. I mean, maybe they negotiated a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
They probably had to, but before that time.
Like one guy's like saying, I think it's year 10. The other guy's like, I think it's year 1600.
Probably comparing records, coming up with a compromise or...
And before there was a lot of integration among societies, each society had, like Rhett said, their own calendar. And some societies was like, the years were counted as years of that reign. So if a king was in charge for 15 years, it may be, King Dan's 15. And that's how they would keep
15
time.
reigns?
The 15th year of Dan's kingdom. And then
on 16, did you have a dry crop and they killed you?
Then there would be Lummy 1.
Like, oh,
and
you know
then
what?
Lummy's king for
$200 Team J and
Team
Louis,
J.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jay's entered the chat.
Wow.
And Louita Sweets, $30, 15 for Babyface, 15 for Dan.
Just the element of time is somewhat mind blowing.
It is pretty mind blowing.
In the fact, it's like somebody somewhere had to agree that this is what we're going with, but that wasn't what everybody thought. Then they just went with it. We you know what, in today's politics, we need to be more like them, where we can be a little more flexible, right? I mean, right now there's no flexibility. Probably within our lifetime, all of us, Dan and I being the oldest in here, and Dan, probably you and I's earliest remembrance of a president would have probably been Nixon, maybe the guy after Kennedy.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson, yeah. But I can remember my mom and dad watching TV and seeing Nixon. Because at Nixon we were 4. 3 and 4. That's when I can start remembering the president. I can remember the night that Tricky Dicky resigned. I can remember.
Remember that night?
I can remember my mom and dad. Yes, because it was a big television event. Everybody watched it, and it was like, I, Richard, as of effective tomorrow at noon, resign. The president. It was super. It was like 3 lines long, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like that. But I mean, the fact that you remember that at 4 or 5 years old is pretty amazing.
I remember watching it on TV, and then I remember watching him the next day get on the helicopter and do his double peace sign willies and get out. Out.
You remember those live?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I can remember those live. Then probably the next significant thing that I can remember was the bicentennial year, how big of a deal 1976 was.
Yeah, I remember that. We were in Philadelphia for that, and it was unbelievable. We spent that.
That was
in
ground
Philly.
zero.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. The whole city was locked up. They had fireworks. They had parties. They had the streets were filled. It was a huge celebration.
And I guarantee you, it was a festive time, and you didn't have to worry about 315 people getting shot down this weekend.
No.
Celebrating our 200-year anniversary of our country. It's back when people loved our country.
Right.
Like, it didn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You're like, man, I love our country. We're 200 years old. Like, yay, happy birthday for America.
The only people that didn't like us were the North Vietnamese.
Yeah. But I mean, that was back when you could that's back when you could politically disagree and still have a conversation with your neighbor or with your buddy that didn't. I remember we were in 5th grade and it was Carter versus Reagan. And like Phil Digatano was my teacher. And he was like our history social studies teacher. And we actually had a full-blown conversation as to who your parents were going to vote for and why.
And no one got mad.
And each kid stood up and said, well, my dad says that Jimmy Carter is a complete idiot. And house interest rates are like 18%, and we got a gas crisis. My dad's going to vote for Ronald Reagan. And then some girl was saying, my mom and dad think that that Jimmy Carter's a really good guy and that Ronald Reagan's just an actor from L.A. and he has no political experience. And, she didn't get stoned at recess or nothing.
Nope.
Nobody tripped her. But today, I don't think that 5th graders could get up in today's educational system and in the world that we live in, and little Danny get up and say, if Donald Trump's, I get a Thifu Tower if he wins. But my dad thinks Donald Trump kicks ass, and my dad really thinks Donald Trump is going to win, and my dad's really, and then
you know what's funny is that little kids that are 12 years old laugh at Joe Biden. They think he is a fool. They laugh at him now.
Little Sethy and little Babyface, probably couldn't get up in front of their whole. Like you had to stand up you had to stand beside your desk and stand up. Remember when they make you do that? The whole entire class would sit down and they make you get out of your seat and stand up, and then you would do like a book report, or sometimes they'd make you go to the front of the room, but most of the time you just stood up. And I mean, I couldn't imagine what grade's little Sethy in?
First.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can't make first graders do that.
No, but you know what they did for us when I was in elementary school, when there was an election, they would have us vote on the founding fathers and like who we would have wanted, who we think is the best president, Washington, Lincoln. So they had us engaged still. Yeah.
Right, you'd have a vote.
They taught us in civics, and it was that's something that's missing.
I don't think in today's world, man. I think they stay so far out of politics that they don't really necessarily get the kids voting for one way or another. But like in my school, it was like Reagan was like 70-30, and we actually had the stats on the chalkboard. Like Mr. Digatano would actually put little slash marks for if your mom and dad were going to vote for Reagan or Carter, and he would keep score right there. And everybody.
And that's cool, and that's how kids learn how.
I don't think you can do that in today's environment.
I mean, you could do it, but
you'd probably catch some crap over it, wouldn't you?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, if all of a sudden your room's really heavy Trump, and your kid and your family are Democratic and very much Joe Biden, next thing you know, your mom's calling the school up saying, my daughter's social studies class is trying to sway her into liking somebody we don't endorse. Like, that's what you'd get now, some Karen bitch calling in on you.
Yeah, because nobody is capable of dealing and functioning and with somebody having a difference of opinion or perspective.
Let me 25, Dan is the man.
There we go.
Whew, the route is on.
That comes from Michael Frace.
Thanks, Mike.
Michael Frace. So I have to go into words, and then I got to get into my sister's thing. I am so proud of my sister. She is just, she has just become so successful, and she is just such a great business lady. And she's taken this company from her and her partners, from having 0 clients and making 0 money, to now they're recognized as one of the best places to work in Tampa Bay by the Tampa Bay Business Journal. And I think this might be her 2nd year that she's won it. They had it at Ray J yesterday. It was sponsored by the Tampa Bay Business Journal. And I'll get into it next, but my sister's company won.
Nice.
Awesome. I mean, damn. I can remember when she got, I moved her down here to be the general manager of my Bubba's Ale Houses. Then I had her on the air, and I had Tom Bean fire her.
You're responsible for all her successes.
How was her wedding? How was her wedding, Bubba?
Troy Lincoln, $10 for Seth.
Shut up, Brian. That's a very, very, very bad topic in my family.
Would you like to take $100 off him?
No.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Hey, Bubba.
What?
Want pancakes?
I mean,
if they were there, you wouldn't not eat them, right?
Right. I mean, no.
I understand. I understand. I
Yeah,
understand
absolutely.
the situation.
Has Brian tried them?
I don't know. Brian's not even offered them. Fuck off.
I mean,
no, I'm teasing. I'll get him. I'll get him.
Dion.
I'm joking. I'll get him for
Brian
two.
in here? By the way, Lummy, Gooch wants to make sure that his is denoted as 40 for Dan and 10 for Brian.
Thanks, Gooch.
Because Dan can doctor across state lines. So that's Gooch. So write that down, Lummy. Yes, sir. Um, 11 for Dan and 9 for Brian. Hutchin Home Services, Lummy. Did you write that down?
11 and 9?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hutchin Home Services.
What up, Quicker Ticker, DDP? Yeah, Nick, the break just closed this morning. What's up, Permagrom? Thank you. Breaking on Thursday, everybody. What up, pow, wow, 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 wow?
Alrighty.
African American lady that hit the one lady in the head and then she pie faced it into the ball return. That bowling story.
Nick, I think the break is closed. I think Seth's that sold the last spot this morning, actually. But we'll be doing more if the feedback is strong on this. I think it will be. Seth's got a video to drop. We opened up 2 of the first off the line 2022 Elite Extras baseball, and we pulled a hell of a card. A couple of actually great cards. One really good card. Junior Caminero autographed to 20. First off the line. Really cool product. There'll be one of those boxes in the break that'll be next Thursday. The big break. Lumi. They just want your love and attention and affection.
The public needs it. The public needs. What? Did I leave a video? Yes, I can. The public needs it. The public needs. Okay.
These are all yours.
Well, this I had left here from yesterday, and this is not enough water to get me through the show. I usually, at the very end, take my last sip, so I brought in that and that. I didn't have any larger jugs.
Diabetes is this.
What? What up, pro human? I mean, dude, you're on your third monster of the morning and you're giving me shit, dude? Come on. Enjoy your kidney stones.
I ain't got no kidney stones. Over 115 over 75. With a pulse in the high 50s.
What up, Hoss?
After the show, make sure to check out BubbaArmyHQ.com. It's all things Bubba 24/7. And now back to the BRN.
Full house today. Lummy, myself, Dr. Dan, Brian, Seth, Macho, Rat. Don't know if Jay's coming in or not. I'm assuming he will be.
Yes, he will.
So, the Tampa Bay Business Journal, I'm sure that you guys, I don't know if you guys subscribe to it or read it, but you guys are businesses. Both of you guys own multiple businesses in Tampa Bay. So I don't know if you guys are part of that or not. The Tampa Bay Business Journal.
I don't
I've
subscribe.
seen it. I've seen it. I get it sometimes.
But I'm familiar with it, and it's a good publication. I mean, they get a lot of good information, a lot of they're on the beat, like knowing what's going on with the West Shore project at the mall and things like that.
All right, and maybe the Babyface Friday, Lummy, 35. 35 for Babyface Friday. That comes from Lindsay Scott Funk. It seemed like the girls like Babyface too. Lindsay Scott Funk. So anyway, my sister, 4 or 5 years ago, her and her this is the way that I know the way the Brundrich group started. And I don't, maybe you, Brian, know, isn't it a staff? It's a medical staffing company,
yes,
isn't it?
They're a medical staffing company that formed at a great time, right before the pandemic.
Right before the COVID deal.
Yep.
My sister started, I think their start date might have been 18 or 19.
We actually went deep into it on the podcast that I had with her, Bubba. We kind of started from when you had Tom Bean fire her to like how she started the business and everything like that.
Could you go ahead? You probably are far more accurate than me, so could you give me
Tom is $50, Dr. Dan's a pimp.
Can you give me just a little back fill as to, I think my sister and her 5 partners used to work for a company that did something similar to what they do.
Yes.
And
they said that if that guy can, and they ended up working for a company, and the guy ended up selling it for, I don't know if it was millions or billions or something.
It was $300 million, and it was started by him and a woman.
Yeah, and I guess
a big hedge fund came in and bought their company.
Yeah, and Tara and her partner said, if they can sell it for this much, then we can do the same thing.
And Tara and her partners were like the 4 or 5 best performing salespeople within this. What I think it might have been K-Force, or I don't know what it was called. So when the big company came in, they got options to either stay and get a sign-on bonus or take, like a golden parachute, walk away, deal, because they'd been there for so long. And they each took their walk away deals, put it together. They put all their money together, and I think they started this company. Am I right on that?
I believe so.
Yes, and they aligned themselves with a doctor. His name's Dr. Brundage. Dr. Brundage, and he's in St. Pete, and he's like Dan. He's a doctor. I forget what kind of doctor he is, but he's also very, 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 very much like an expert on coding, and and his big. Tara says that when he's given seminar, he gives a lot of seminars to hospitals and things like that,
and how to maximize their coding.
Yes, and he likes, one of the things that he's a doctor, and he's like, listen, the one things that hospitals make mistakes on is that doctors want to be doctors. They want to go in and be a doctor, fix people, but they don't want to fill out paperwork.
Nope.
They hate it.
Nope.
They hate it more than anything. Mm-hmm. So if we can efficiently get their paperwork filed by somebody else, or somebody that's with them, then it's far more efficient, and the hospital will make more money because all too often the doctor, doesn't write it down correctly, doesn't code it correctly, and then the hospital doesn't get paid because these insurance companies are like dicks, are they not?
They'll do anything they can not to pay.
Right. They'll have 3 floors of people going. They'll have 100 people that work for their company just to try to discourage doctors coding.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tara somehow, I don't know what their exact niche is, but I think it's staffing nurses and staffing coders and stuff like that. And they've been around 5 years. And for the last 2 years, within the Tampa Bay Business Journal world, they had these awards yesterday at Ray J. And Tara's company that she's the CEO of won large company. It was the best places to work. I think she's got like 350 employees.
Wow.
And for the second year in a row, courtesy of the Tampa Bay Business Journal, Tara and her partners in the doc, they won best places to work. Lummy, it's too bad because we could almost be on opposite ends of the spectrum there, where her brother's business could be like the worst place to work.
That's true. Tara said it's clinical documentation integrity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
I was going to see if you were interested in adopting her blueprint for being one of the best places to work.
Should I come to Tara? Hold on. She doesn't know my business, though.
Yeah, she worked here, dude. She knows your business very well.
Yeah.
She knows your business a lot.
All right. Well, then I'll talk to her one of these days and say, hey, but this is how it's going to go. Tara, what do you think I could be doing different to make more money? And then she'd be
Why
like,
are you doing an impression of yourself?
Yeah. And she'll be like,
I love it.
She'll be like, Tara will tell me. She'll get like into 2 or 3 things. Well, first of all, you need to do this. I'll be like, you know what? Shut up.
Hey,
you know what the hell?
hey, boo. You gotta change up and you gotta be nicer to your people. And not run off good workers like Anna, my friend Anna.
Shut up, Tara. Where's Tarek at? Oh, he's on a $6,000 golf simulator in the garage. I'm sorry. What a rough life. I want to come back and be married to my sister.
Okay.
That's not disturbing.
We knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, talk about having it made.
Yeah.
Now, her husband, to his credit, there's only one thing wrong with him. He's a white guy.
He's Egyptian.
Well,
he's not white.
He doesn't fill out Egyptian on his forms. He puts down white guy, but he has his master's from Georgia Tech and some kind of super Rambo computer stuff. He's brilliant. He's a great guy. He looks good. He probably interviews well.
He's funny.
And he's funny.
He's hot. Did you say he's hot, Bubba?
No, but he's a good-looking dude.
Great body.
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah,
Stop trying to lay a rap on me.
Just saying, I'm gonna mix in with my sister and Tarek,
he rubs his penis on me at family events,
and I love it.
And
jeez, I'm bringing my daughter to his house this weekend.
And so what I'm saying is,
gonna ride in the Tessie.
What I'm saying is that he should be. He's got his master's now. In this IT computer code, he writes code. That's how good he is. He writes code.
Your sister wanted everybody to know that he's not with her because of the money, and that when
That's what I'm trying to say.
When she was originally with him when they got together, I think she was working here maybe, and he had a bunch of money.
Yes, listen. Tara
wanted me to say that Babyface is a
Tara,
dick
you
for the
can't listen to the show and then because you have my listen, Tara. We're going to put a stop to this right now. We're going to put a stop to this right now. Okay?
We want to be one of the best places to work.
Tara, let's put a stop to this right now. Stop texting my people things to say while your brother is talking good about you.
Just call in, Tara.
Well, Tara said this is why she won the best places to work. She communicates with everybody.
Well, hold on. I could be able to communicate this message more efficiently if she stopped interrupting my... You know what, Tara? I'll tell you. Next time you're in a big-time meeting, I'm just going to start texting all 5 of your partners, okay?
You know how you address employees, though, Bubba? You do a podcast about how much they suck. Maybe that's not the best way to handle it.
I want people to know.
It is unique.
It's a unique
Like when you rolled
workplace.
up with the Crown Vic on the loudspeaker calling my name when I was in an important meeting.
Yeah, I did. Last week, I rolled up the Crown Vic with the lights rolling. And I got him, now again, courtesy of Adam from Fenderworks. I have a PA system.
That's right.
And I was like, attention, Brunridge Group. Please send out Tara Clem immediately. And
while she was firing somebody.
Attention, Brunridge Group.
I see my sister's Tesla is in the parking lot. I know that she's in there. Please send my sister out. I'm not walking into your building. I've been told I cannot do that. I tried that once, and she almost killed me.
You're not allowed to walk in?
No, she said absolutely not.
They had him
Under no
trespass.
circumstances.
They had him trespass.
Well, I walked in one time on I was in some flip flops and a t-shirt and some shorts that I just changed some oil on, and I was just gonna come and say hi to her, and it happened to be that this was one of her big board meetings with outside counsel, and they were getting ready to. I don't know.
Well, they don't care for your antics, Bubba. I mean, it's a professional world, and
so
to them, you're just Todd.
She was like, "Listen, Bubba, don't you ever just walk in." She goes, "Do you see me just walk into your place?" I'm like, "Well, a couple times you have." She's like, "Yeah, to drop off some free food or do some cool stuff. You weren't in that. You what do you ever bring? Nothing." So then I used to go by her window and do burnouts on the Crown Vic with my lights going. And I'd be like,
Attention! Send out my sister, Tara Clem. Thank you.
so she hates me when I come over there. So
Bubba, you just roll up to my place. You walk up there like that.
yeah, but Dan, your place, you can't really see. There's not a road. You're not in a parking lot where I could be disruptive to the people in the waiting room. Whereas the way her place is configured,
but he's on a good corner. You could disrupt people coming by.
She's in a one of these high-rise office buildings, and she's on the ground floor, and literally I can pull right up to her window, and so I can be very disruptive, and I am. So what I wanted to get back to is her husband. When I say that I want to come back Tara's husband, it's not because he's a lazy piece of crap and he's gold digging and anything like that. No.
He's actually smart, funny, and successful.
He's very smart.
And hot.
He's very hot. He's very funny. My family completely... Listen, you think I naturally want to like the guy that's blasting my sister?
Taking her away from you?
Yeah, do you think that I naturally want to give that guy a break?
I don't share her with anybody.
Like I'm just telling you, her first boyfriend that she had when she was down here, well, she had Raphael and she had a couple of, but anyway.
Spice
blasted her.
Man.
But her first real boyfriend was a guy named Chad, and I hated him. I treated him like crap. I talked down to him. I almost got in a fight one Thanksgiving. I ruined an entire Thanksgiving
over him.
Shocker.
Yeah, because he said something. I'd be like, you know what? I'll tell you right now. I'll stand up and I will fight you right now in front of the whole entire
Janie
family.
Cake, make me 3 plates to go, please.
Is this back when you had frosted tips, Bubba?
No, but this is back when I was in a 7,000 square foot mansion that's mine. So you can get the hell out of here. Tara, grab you and your lunk-headed boyfriend. I said,
at your house?
You kicked them out of your Thanksgiving?
I had these exact words to my sister because and she'll even admit that Chad was really stupid back then. I mean,
what did he do on this occasion? What did he do specifically?
I think he stuck up for Tara. I think I was yelling at Tara about she took my Escalade out and messed up the alarm, and I had to come and it wouldn't start because he had to hit a special code on the alarm, and it was not really her fault. But I was Johnny Mean. I was mean back then. I had a lot of money. I was like Dan. I was a mean dick.
I'm not mean.
Oh, please. And so he sticks. I'm yelling at Tara. And he's like, hey, listen, man, why don't you back down a little bit on yelling at Tara? Why don't you shut up, you stupid lie? Have you got a job yet? No, you haven't. You sit around all day and lift weights, and you're a big lunk-headed dumbass. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't shut your face, I'm going to come over and beat it in for you. And my mom's like, oh, my God, Fleet, don't talk much. Everybody, just get the hell out of here.
Was that those roids getting into you when you were dealing with Hogan?
Money and success.
Oh, money and success.
Yeah. And then so I hated him. I hated Chad.
Was Chad a bitch, or were you just being?
He was. Tara will even tell you he was a bitch.
What's Chad up to these days?
Nothing. I don't know. But I'm just telling you right now. Even Tara would say, Bubba, as mean-spirited as you were and sometimes can be, you were right about Chad. So I naturally not want to like my sister's significant other. It's just, Dan, you don't have a sister, but to be a guy and have a sister, there's a certain amount of, you protect them.
Yeah, you want to protect them, absolutely.
Yeah, and the guy that's blasting her,
I love that you go to that every time.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's all about the blasting.
He loves her too.
I know.
But here's the deal. So when they first, kind of started hanging out, I was a little skeptical, and I didn't attend their wedding, which was it gets reminded to me every family gathering.
You just boycotted it?
Well, my
was mad at her.
wife Heather had a lot to do with it. She was being a bitch, and it was just whatever.
You could have met Mike Tyson when you were there.
I know. So listen, guys, it was a bad decision.
Wait, Mike Tyson was there?
Yeah, Mike Tyson was at my sister's wedding. For
How did
real.
that happen?
Mike Tyson was signing on. Listen to this story. He was signing autographs at Tara got married in Vegas, and it was like one of these like little wedding chapel kind of gimmicks. Off, I think maybe at MGM Grand or something. Tyson happened to be signing autographs at a store 3 doors down, and he saw Tara coming, walking in to go get married, and he was done with his card show. He was done with signing, and he just he followed Tara in and sat down at a table and was like, "Who's getting married?" And so and he's in all the wedding pictures and everything.
Get out of here. Awesome.
No, he is. He's in all the wedding pictures and everything. He was at my sister's wedding.
Pure random.
And he told Tarek, "Let me tell you something. You got a good one." Right there, and I guess he was enamored with Tara's jugs because she had them all jacked up back then. So anyway,
Big Hands John, $20 for Dr. Dan, $20 for Babyface.
So I missed their wedding. That's where it first got off to a bad foot, and then But
did Heather not like Tara?
I don't know what it was.
Oh, big boy.
I don't know, and I want to get into it.
Yeah.
So, but Tara knows how sorry I am, and so her husband goes out. They get married. His name's Tariq. I call him Tarlik. He's Egyptian. He's got a big wiener. He's good looking.
How do you know his wiener's big?
Because he's rubbed it on me. Sometimes at Thanksgiving we'll be sitting there, and he'll rub his wiener on my leg right in the middle of, when Jeff used to do the prayer, and then I would blurt out in the middle of the prayer, "Mom, Tariq's rubbing his wiener on me." And then Tara would be like, "Oh my God, you always have to disrupt. It's always about you. And it's why can't you just ever shut your fat mouth?" I'm like, "Why can't you get your husband to stop rubbing his wiener on me? Then I wouldn't be interrupting the service now, would I?" I mean,
you guys are like 5-year-olds.
Yeah. So
I prick my nose and I rub it on Tark's face.
But like literally for like the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know, I like the dude. I'd go golfing with him if he invited me, and I'd hang. He never really invites me to hang out with him, but I would.
How often do you invite him to hang out with you?
Never.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to go to the dirt track and grade.
You don't know that.
Okay. But so he goes out and gets a master's in this code writing type, IT computer thing, and he's just unbelievable when it comes to computer stuff. I don't really know what he does. So he has literally put in, I think he got his diploma last October.
Can he build an app for us?
Oh, he could, please. He can do anything.
How'd that go?
And so we're in the process of building a new one right now.
Yeah, thanks, Babyface.
Thanks for being a dick.
I wasn't being one. You had a meeting with Tom yesterday. I'm asking how it went.
Do you see how Dan is? He picks and chooses dickness. He doesn't have all these little schmarmy, toothy dick chime
That
ins.
wasn't smarmy.
No, so stop,
that was
stop,
topical.
Be a calculated dick and chime in with the dickness and then get out. Let me tell my story before you're turning into Anna now, you little bitch.
Something about this seat.
Yeah.
It's that chair.
It's something about
It's
this
that
seat.
I'm just telling
it's
you.
that chair, man.
Let me tell my story about how kick-ass my sister's husband is without trying to thwart me or get me down another rabbit hole or distract me, okay, dumbass? Thank you.
Can we hear the story about how Brian fought his mother-in-law?
Anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, poor guy, he's really freaked out right now. He doesn't want to be, he's married to a multimillionaire and he can't stay at home and he usually plays 18 to 36 holes every day at Cheval or TPC. He's members at both Lummy. And so,
Yes.
she's like, "Listen, I know you're out applying for jobs, but he's just not getting callbacks and companies because they're only interested in minorities, preferably African American women." Like he goes to these. He's been like Pfizer, like Dan. He's been with some huge companies, and he's like this DEI initiative. He doesn't put that he's Egyptian. He puts that he's white.
He should say he's African.
He should embrace the African.
He should change
is
his name to
African.
Tarnisha.
Well, anyway,
No, not
it's
that.
not because he's not qualified. It's not because he's not a go-getter.
I know.
Poor guy can't get a job because he's a white guy.
What's he doing on Wednesdays from 6 to 10 a.m.? We can have Tark fill in one.
You know
one
what?
Wednesday.
That would be. I'm going to have Tara in on the 22nd. I was going to have Tuttle in on the 29th. So maybe on the whatever they've. In June,
5th of June.
Maybe we'll have Tarek in here.
That'd be cool. He's funny.
He's pretty, and sometimes he does like his little Egyptian impersonation.
Oh, it's great.
And he'll boss Tara around, and like so we'll be at the family function. He'll be like, "Woman, what are you doing in your living room? You're supposed to be you're supposed to be in kitchen only, washing dishes and scrubbing floors. Get back out of here." Do not speak another word. And Tara will be like, F off, Tarek, you stupid son. Like, it's just the dynamic that we have. Woman, you are not where you're supposed to be.
John, big old 50 for Babyface.
So my sister here, this was on the big screen. If you guys can put it up for me, this was on the big screen of the Ray J. That's pretty impressive, Lummy. I don't think that we've ever made the big screen at Ray J.
Ray J, no.
So congratulations, my sister. And you know what? I don't know who brought this up, but maybe there's my sister and I don't know. These aren't all of his I think these are all of his partners and wives and kids and people that work there and what have you.
What a happy group of people.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
You know how happy we would be if we were the best place in Tampa to work? We're the worst place to work.
I know.
But maybe I should go to her and say, hey, Tara, just peripherally what you know about my business, what do you think I could... I mean, she's got a master's from Purdue. She's way smarter than me.
Justin Cordell, $5, recently moved to Orlando area. Love the show.
She could train you to be the CEO that you've always been destined to be.
Do you know what she did tell me one time? I have to go into words because I'm running late. Did you know? Oh, look at Jen Epstein today. Is that not fire? She looks great.
Yeah.
Because she has like a little call center over just 2 blocks away. You guys all know where it's at. She's got a call center over there, and that's where some of her call center people work. And she said, just because I have the gift of gab and I sound good on the phone and, I know how to work, I can lie and cheat and steal. I mean, what? I can work. I'm like a little carny. If I wasn't working phones for her, I could be working, like the softball, knocking down the milk jugs thing at the county
the clown.
fair. Yeah. Be Bozo and the clown that sits in the dunk tank. I gotta get a wiener arm on you. Come on, old timer, you fat ass. You think you can get the ball? You can't hit Bozo. She said if I would go over there every day at noon and work noon to 5, working the phones hard, that I could make like $300,000.
And why aren't you doing that?
Because I'm tired. When I get done doing a show by noon, you guys don't know. Listen, being a chimer inner and a co-host and a contributor, that takes a certain amount of brain fatigue. But when you have to be the guy that's keeping things moving along, keeping topics going, being being the ringleader of all of this humanity,
it's exhausting.
It's totally exhausting. And so I don't.
She did say on the podcast that she would never hire you, though.
She did?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got to think though that she has changed her mind. In fact,
we just recorded it 2 days ago. I mean,
but I'm gonna send her this. I'm gonna send her this sound check, and then it's gonna be great.
She did invite me in Merch Crick. She's already reserved it, and it's a cabin in Asheville, North Carolina.
Ooh.
And
FJ Bar $75, $20
for the 4th of July. And you should see this place, Seth. Let me show you.
One of those cabins that sleeps like 16 people.
Yeah. Hold on.
I love those.
Look, that's it's in the.
Man!
Hold on here, and it's in the mountains of
Asheville.
Of Asheville. It's in the mountains in your back porch.
That's a real hippie liberal town, Bubba.
Is it?
Yeah.
Kevin was trying to buy some.
There's the back porch.
I love it.
And so she wants me and Erica and Mom all to go up there for 4th of July.
Are you going to go or are you going to blow her off?
I'm like, what are we going to do?
The problem is you're going to have to drive from the airport to get there.
No, here's the deal. It's a 9-hour drive or you can rent it's a 1-hour flight on Allegiant, Spirit, Frontier, whatever. It's a 1-hour flight from Tampa to Charlotte, and it's about an hour from Charlotte.
Oh, that's not bad. So it's only an hour from the major airport?
Yes.
That's not bad at all. I thought it was going to be 2 or 3 hours.
I think
from
that's
the
what you
airport.
do. I think you fly in and rent.
Yeah, have Tara buy you a plane
Absolutely.
ticket.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
I know. That's
Yeah, he's from Africa.
But if you look at now, a lot of the things because.
So why is he checking white? That's the last thing he should be putting.
Yeah, black now on it.
Damn it.
African.
No, it's African American.
I don't think they're allowed to even ask on applications.
Oh, they asked Brian.
Your race?
I filled out my. Oh, yeah.
You can say prefer not to say. They give you an option, prefer not to say, but they ask everybody. Yes.
I feel like such a fucking sheep when I check white because I know I'm fucked.
I know. I'm so fucked.
When was the last time you applied for a job, Seth?
Me?
Like filled out a paper application?
Dude, I filled out a application.
This week?
No, like last year, dude. Like 70, 80. I mean.
Oh, you did a bunch.
Yo, yeah.
And that's like doing like web stuff, social media stuff.
It was for. I mean, dude, I applied for everything.
For everything.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was applying for a job to be like a host at the Rowdies game. You know, like the
yeah, like the in stadium guy with Mike.
Yeah, but when fan host, they actually meant usher. So.
Sir, it's right here. Two aisles down on the right there, sir.
Seth brought a microphone with him. Your seat's right over here.
Be careful. Be careful of that first step. We have it marked with a clear yellow line, but.
Oh my goodness!
Don Lemon came out against DEI this week.
I got so excited. I was like, "Oh shit, Phoebe!" They called me back, and
like
I read it again.
That gets talked to the Aquafina bottle.
Yeah, and then I read it again, and I was like, "Oh boy, I don't think I can do this."
Dan, are you getting an update on the food?
Yes, it's 4 minutes out. No, now it says it's 2 minutes. He's right out there.
Tell him he's gonna get shot.
Yeah, he's gonna get shot. He's gonna get a kiss.
Oh.
Where do I get it? Okay, Bubba?
Yeah.
Thank God he's
No, they offered me an interview, but I didn't. I didn't go. And then I was really questioning my skill set at that point.
And then I applied for another job, and they said I had to be an usher. So I was like, I showed up in blackface and danced and sang. And apparently, usher's also another name for fan host.
They really try to jazz up these fucking names these days.
I'm a fan host.
Yeah.
I'm a fan experience enhancer.
I mean, honestly, dude, I didn't read the description, but fan host, I thought I was going to be the fucking, hey, look up at the big board. We got Johnny, if he guesses what's under the soccer ball, he gets a fucking gift card to the gift shop. I don't fucking know. What's up, Tina? What's up, Brian?
Fan host. Thank you, Hartford Car Wash. I know you don't mean that.
It was hard out there, Brian. It's hard out there being a guy with no skills.
You used to be able to get by just on being a white male, and those days are done.
Now a white guy with no skills, you're fucked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean a white guy that just knows how to bullshit a little bit on the radio.
Good morning, Brian Gilson.
This is as far as I'm. This is it for me. If I can get Tiggs and Bigs up, off the ground,
and get Colton maybe to pull the nose up a little bit, you're good, right?
That might be my 401k right there. But other than that, thank you, Berto. Thank you for getting that shirt, buddy.
Well, that means 11% hit, so that's about 5% more.
What up, Kabuki?
So.
I am going to Tara's house this weekend. So.
Yeah, what's on the menu?
Pizza.
Oh.
What's up?
Good morning, eat more coleslaw.
Why? Food fucking hates pizza, man.
Just a reminder for anybody donating today, say that it's for Babyface, okay?
What up, Mitch?
Good things will happen.
What up, Coleslaw?
Approach.
Yeah.
Dan, can you turn down the temperature a little bit? It's a little warm in here.
Down one. Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome. Sethy.
Thank you.
Sethy.
I'm concerned about Dan going broke
I'm
doing this for us.
Babyface's bitch. and it's a picture.
Holy shit, man! They really got these here fast. They're about to come up.
Thank you. Incoming, Bubba.
Oh! Yeah, hey, fuckhead.
It's an incoming.
No, you gotta say incoming. Give a guy a chance to fucking.
Heads up.
Oh, it's only incoming.
Got it! Got it!
Dumbass Dan. Lummy, you might be subtracting 200 from Dan for a penalty right now.
Live now. If you go through withdrawals later,
Easy fix.
get your fix at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Now back to the BRN.
No, Dr. Dan.
When you are gonna throw something to somebody, and they cannot see you because we're covered up with computer monitors. Now both of your throws were good, but you have to say, "Hey Bubba, incoming. Give me a chance to maybe drop what I'm doing, not let go of the mouse." Get ready. You said incoming when it was halfway to me.
Yeah, but you have cat-like reflexes, bro. You caught it.
I
You're the
did.
man. You don't need an extra heads up. Hey, Bubba, I'm gonna be an incoming in 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, bitch. The next time you do an incoming on me,
I will give you more time.
give me incoming. Be like, let me verbally say, okay, ready. And then I didn't catch it. It bounced off, but I'll get it. But you're even a dick about being incoming.
You want to know what makes him even a bigger dick, Bubba?
I'd like for you to accentuate that.
He threw me silverware to eat my no food that he got me. So that was very nice of him.
And I even asked him to. And I even asked him to get you food too. And he's like, "Screw Brian."
Well,
I mean, a-hole, look beside you, you freaking douche.
I'm teasing you, dude.
Your food's right next to you.
Well, Babyface causing heat for no reason.
I know. It's food right next to you, a-hole. Look to your right.
That's just
food right there.
I'm not hungry.
That's just kind of being a dick to be a dick.
No, hold on. He handed everybody else their food, and mine's on the floor in a bag. I don't even know what's in the bag.
I'm not your freaking waiter.
It's not being a waiter. It's
No,
Dan,
15 for Dan, 5
Dan,
for
you
Red.
could at least have the conversation. Hey, Brian, your food's in the bag.
You threw me off with the early throw. The early heads up.
No,
threw me off.
Did you get Brian some food?
There's food right there for him, right next to him.
All right.
A big freaking pancake.
I do
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
I will tell you this, Brian. I will tell you this. I will tell you this.
I thought it was funny because he threw me the silverware, and I'm just I'm
I
looking.
got thrown off.
I will tell you.
I apologize.
Eat a pancake.
I will tell you this,
eat a
Brian.
pancake.
As much as you say, I'm not hungry. I'm not that. I'm not this. I don't want to eat breakfast. These pancakes from Metro Diner are absolutely, positively game changers. And the fact that Dan's right. I hate to throw a bone to Dan, but Dan one day told me I had a dream about these things. They're so good, and I got to tell you, they are that good. They're dreamy. They're worth having a dream over. These pancakes from Metro Diner that Dan stumbled upon a few weeks ago are probably top 5 things I've ever eaten.
Whoa, that's thank you to your sister.
Exactly.
I will say this. For a second there, I did feel like Anna not being invited to Lummy's party when I thought I didn't get any breakfast.
Well, that chair tends to
man,
automatically
it's a tough spot.
That chair tends to automatically black sheep you. I think that's got black sheep, not fitting in energy. That whole area there. If you analyze everybody that's been at that microphone position, Lummy, since this studio, that was Spice Boys. That would be Spice Boys' mic. If you look at the old mic configuration, Lummy, from Nassau, you would be Manson.
No, Spice was in the middle.
Spice, no, but then Brent would be where Seth is, and then Spice would either be Dan or Brian. So anyway, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of that particular mic position. Just know, Brian, as much as you maybe not want breakfast, that these are
it's
absolutely
very nice of
unbelievable.
Dan to get it for me, and I do
Makes
apologize.
Me want
it
to
was
go into
hilarious
commercials
though
early
for
so
me.
we can eat.
Well, that's why I was trying to talk too, to give everybody time to stuff. But it was kind of funny when he threw me silverware, and I couldn't even see the food was out of my line of sight as well, that he had put on the floor for me like a dog. I'm just teasing, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. I know these pancakes are not cheap at all, and I appreciate you getting them for me and my family.
You're welcome, Lummy.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm taking them home to my
Bubba.
family so we
Thank
can
you,
finish them up tonight for dinner.
Right. Seth's already cut them in half, put the other half away.
They are. I mean,
so little Sethy doesn't go to bed with an empty stomach tonight.
We got to stretch these out, you know? I mean,
They are good, though.
I mean,
They are
yeah,
good.
they're great.
We'd all weigh 500 pounds if we had these every morning for breakfast.
I know. I want to weigh 500.
I found this, Lummy, on I retweeted it. Of course, I retweet cool stuff.
Great stuff.
I don't know what I would do with this situation. You guys tell me.
What are you doing?
Going to the bathroom.
Why are you in the girls' bathroom?
I'm a trans girl.
But you're not a girl.
Oh, we're doing one of these.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never had this before. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, I pay a lot of money to be safe in the bathroom.
Me too. Excuse me. Rude.
Do you think that's okay?
Dan, what if Romina or Sophia was in a public bathroom and Sophia came running out and was like, Dad, that guy was just in our bathroom. And he said he's like a trans kind of deal. What would you guys do?
It depends. If the guy did anything at all untoward, I'd drag him out by his wig and beat him with his own prosthesis.
But if he didn't, what if he didn't do anything, necessarily?
Yeah, no bubbles, no troubles. I think it's tough because I think this new distinction between sexuality and actual sex, genetic sex, your genetic makeup, XY versus XX versus what you identify with, I think is just a perversion.
Where did we go? Hold on.
Of reality.
But where did it become okay all of a sudden in society to re-engineer people? Meaning like literally, hold on, literally, misappropriate or mispronunciate their standard XY, like their standard chromosome makeup no longer determines what they are, it's what they want to be. Like who made that rule? Because that's what it is, isn't it? It's not necessarily what you're wired and what our creator or however we're made decided you are and what chromosomes you possess and what genitalia you have. It's no longer necessarily about that. You can be opposite of what you really are in today's society. Can you not?
Well,
I mean, there's a certain portion of our society that allows that.
There's gender and there's sexuality, and there's
School?
two different things. Yes, it's weird. It wasn't distinguished like that before, up until just recently, really. And it's really confusing for a lot of people. I understand that there's a group of people that don't identify with the sex that they were born with. And I understand that problem. I think that it's being overly encouraged.
Let me Charles Ramsey on the PayPal. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't know where you get to draw the line. Like, I don't know where a guy can all of a sudden get the rights and responsibilities of a female. At what point? Is it the point where he says, I just decided today I want to be a woman? Is it the point where he puts on a wig? Is it the point where he gets a boob job? Is it the point where he starts dressing like a girl? Is it the point where he gets his penis converted into a vagina? There's a line.
That's where I would say you could start keeping score.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then all of a sudden, yes, you should have all the
female benefits.
But I still think you shouldn't be able to compete with them in athletics.
No, I agree.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's intellectually honest to say it's fair.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you just look at the Leah Thomas thing.
Are you guys having any of these issues with your children? Like, as far as we have an array. We got little Sethy in first grade. We got your daughter in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And then we got your children way older, high school and middle school. So and Walker is, preschool Willie. Are you guys facing these challenges as parents? Are these kids that are doing this, transitioning, are they in your kids' schools?
I haven't seen it yet, but my daughter's in kindergarten. I hope I don't see it for a while.
I interviewed each kid in my daughter's class, a little exit poll, and asked them if they identify with what I think that they actually are, and everybody is on par
Everybody
right
checked
now.
out?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. So far you're good?
Yes, nobody looking to change it up right now.
I guess, Dan, you would be the most, as far as your kids being old enough to maybe this be a thing. Is any of this happening at where your kids go to school?
Well, there's some girl-on-girl stuff at the academy because they're in high school, and that's fine. I don't care. Lesbian, heterosexual, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about.
There's a lot of girls identifying as guys in an all-girls high school. It doesn't make sense. You get kicked out. What would they do? That's a good question. What would they do now? These people that try to be all-inclusive. Now they have a female that says she wants to be a boy, but she wants to stay at the academy.
Hold on now.
What do you do with that
Let's
person?
say, you have Sophia goes to an all-girls school.
Right.
Okay? And Danny goes to an all-boys school.
No, it's mixed.
Oh, it is?
The academy's mixed until high school, then it becomes all girls.
Right. So Sophia goes to an all-girls school. All of a sudden, somebody at Danny's school wants to start identifying as a girl. Wears the makeup, puts a wig on. Would Sophia's school allow that kid to enroll as a female?
Absolutely not, and that's why they're hypocrites. Because they're trying to encourage it, but they wouldn't let it happen. They wouldn't bring that kid in. I know they wouldn't.
Probably
they
in
don't want the distraction.
in the private sector, it wouldn't happen. They run a little tighter ship when you're paying $25,000 a year for your kid to go to school there. But in the public sector, where Elise just retired from, I got to think that they really can't tell you anything. And in the public sector, it's still the Wild West. Pretty much.
Bubba, you have a 15-year-old daughter. She goes to a camp, or a 14-year-old daughter. She goes to a camp, and then they allow guys, genetic males that identify as females, to stay in that clubhouse or whatever.
I'm not letting her be in. No.
Would that be cool
because
with
he's
that?
going to try to get some ass off my kid.
Because they're a lot of transsexual, male to female transsexual people are still sexually aggressive as guys.
Well, I mean, they sexually.
Yes,
they sexually
have a penis. They have testicles, and they want to do something with that penis.
Right. I mean, they may want to roll around as a girl, but when participating in sex, they still play the male role.
They identify as a lesbian.
At times.
They identify as a lesbian. And so, yeah, they're thinking they're a girl, and then they're wanting to enjoy women.
I found this on our Twitter.
Well, I was gonna say, did you see the article on the West Virginia where they just banned?
Yes, I'm going to get to that here momentarily.
Sorry.
I wanted to see what this is, though. Now, is this something like from Elon Musk's SpaceX or the U.S. government? Maybe this is a rocket booster or
like a
torpedo or a missile.
It's a Bluefin 12 unmanned underwater vehicle.
It's a what?
It's it like tracks the ocean floor.
It's like a submarine drone.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Correct, yeah.
And it washed ashore, and I think Colton is out there wanting to get good footage for the BRN to keep his podcasting job because it's touch and go right now.
This is Tuttle for First Florida News.
Right, Tuttle for First Florida News wants to know that getting this government issued torpedo drone for Seth's Instagram or for our Instagram is going to be just straight money. Buying him another week of his podcast because I got to tell you, Tuttle and Colton, you better pull the nose up on that deal quickly. Wasn't that funny?
I think Tuds was nervous.
Well,
because Colton kept telling him he was on a short leash. I don't think he knew what that meant.
So listen, you guys better make that thing. That thing better get a whole lot more funny, or it's gonna get replaced. Now the Tig's big stuff. Those guys nailed it. Colton Tuttle, not so much. Better pull the nose up. So if Colton was out or Tuttle was out over on the beach because he lives over there, and he had this axe, the ability that this thing washes ashore, it looks like it's real important government kind of deal. Now, are these the government nerds that might be there to collect this thing, and they're trying to keep him off of it? Is that what this is? Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's not. They don't have. To, it's not. I mean, private people have it. It's they may be running it out to check the pier, so people don't have to scuba dive. It just.
But they're trying to obviously get this guy not to be there and tape it. Watch.
No, you can't do that.
Yes, I can. It's a public beach, dude. It's a public beach.
I understand it's a public beach and I can't stop you, but now I have to explain it to my boss.
What? That I'm taking a video?
It's kind of hot, sec. I mean, you want to be cool. I don't know.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Kind of sounds like
Okay.
I mean, like,
He's a bozo that ran into ground.
Yeah.
Explain that to your boss. Did some guy comes up and takes a picture of it? Come on, dude.
No, what I'm
I was
saying
going to
is-
lie to him and to try to get away with it, and now I can't.
Yeah, you know,
That's what he's saying there.
Yeah, so they're not part of the government. They're part of like SpaceX or some private
maybe a surveillance group that do like water surveillance for like piers and boats and stuff.
Yeah, it replaces scuba divers having to go down there and check everything. They can do that.
So why would
identify the problem
why would a
and go
guy
right
be
down.
why would a guy have such a problem with you taping?
Because he ran it aground.
yeah.
He ran it aground.
Oh,
It's a very expensive piece of equipment.
And he broke it, and he's
probably
mad.
broke it. Yes,
Yeah.
he probably broke
Yeah.
it. Now he's got to carry it to his truck.
And he was just going to lie
Or
to
his
his
Tesla.
boss and say, I don't know, it just stopped working, but now he can't because it very clearly was run aground.
I get. You know what? That's why I have smart guys like all of you guys in here around me, my friends, to help me interpret stupid stuff that I can't quite understand.
And Lummy, too.
Lummy, this guy plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Pacers eliminated them. And I think the reason why this is such a big deal is because didn't the Milwaukee Bucks, when they went and got the guy from Portland, that was going to be like the missing link for the Bucks to finally win, the championship, and then they replaced their coach early on with Doc
they were
Rivers.
Winning.
Yeah,
they were
Giannis
winning. They
got
had the best
injured.
record. They were 30-10, and then they fired their coach.
And Giannis got injured, and
Now, hold on. Why did they fire their coach at 30-10? Did Giannis or the other guy? Was it a player issue?
That's the $1 million question.
I mean,
That's
it's
how
always a superstar issue if you replace the coach like that.
If you're 30-10 and you're getting replaced, that means that the Lillard or the Greek Freak doesn't like you, and you're out of there. Charles Ramsey, 100.
Championship coach.
They only went 19-23 after they fired him, too.
Right. Now, this guy is
Pat Beverly.
And he's with the Bucks. And I don't think Seth, I think he defers all of his questions to his podcast, does he not?
No. Well, he says he won't answer a question. He asks if you subscribe to his podcast, and if they say no or they hesitate, he won't talk to you.
So that's such a Bubba move.
Here we go.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Before I finish. You subscribe to my pod?
Do I subscribe to you? I do not subscribe.
So you can't interview me then. No
Okay,
disrespect.
well, Jamal is here.
You
so-
subscribe? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Again, there were a couple times within a bucket or two. In previous games, y'all have been able to kind of get over that hump, or maybe.
This is if Dan
This guy's
was
such a loser.
If Dan was an African American forward for the Milwaukee Bucks, this is who Dan would be.
That played 40 minutes, shot 3 of 11 from the field, 0 for 3 from three-point range, had a -11 differential when he was on the court.
Right.
Pulled down a whopping 2 rebounds. Yeah, that guy.
So at the end of the day, man, you need a microphone to this guy's face saying, you choked, buddy.
He choked.
You choked. You went 3 for 11 from the field?
Worst player on the court
Well,
for
on the way
his
off
team.
the court, too, he chucked a basketball at Pacers fans.
Probably got a tech.
He'll probably get a fine for that. He'll probably get a fine for this clip, too.
Was it anything they did in particular, or was it just one of those where the bucket didn't go down, there wasn't the stop, they made one? What kind of prevented that you all from being able to get over? Kind of like you have.
She wants to get that mic back in his face.
Let me $20 Sam Pruitt Jr. for Dan. $20 for Dan.
Whew, the route is on, man.
So just get out the circle, please, for me, please, ma'am. If you're not subscribed to my pod, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Here.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Before I finish.
What does his hat say?
Let me $20 from Samuel Pruitt Jr. He didn't denote who it would be for.
Oh, thank you.
This guy's a dick. I mean, the league will not allow this, will they?
No, he's going to get fined. He'll get a little talking to.
It'll be a terrible look. If he doesn't get reprimanded, I'm sure he will.
Speaking of which, let me go to words so we can start digging into these pancakes at least for 5 minutes, and we'll come back with Kanye. Now has partnered with Stormy Daniels' ex-husband Mike Moss, which we've had several. We've had dealings with Mike Moss.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I ever knew Mike Moss, the only thing that I knew him to be famous for was he was Stormy Daniels' husband.
Yeah,
I've never known him to be worth much. I mean, I'm not trying to do anything bad about Mike Moss, but I don't know if Kanye West. I don't know what Mike Moss is going to do. Is he saying he's a king? He's a liaison to the adult industry?
You don't think he has any connections at all in the industry?
Oh, I'm sure he does. So now, I mean, but isn't that like your last saving? Even I haven't gone to porn. I got a lot of porn I could be posting, but I haven't gone there yet. I've stayed with above board content.
What was Bubba Raw?
Yeah, what was OnlyFans?
Well, I've kind of winded both of those down.
Well, someone's got to wind it back up, baby.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
We were drunker than Nick Hogan's wife when we put this thing together. BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
It's all on my plate.
I mean, this is like, it's,
I heard it's like magic.
but
like,
they're huge.
Yeah.
There's 2 in here.
that's breakfast.
No, this is
lunch,
2
and dinner for
meals.
me.
This is 2 meals.
That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me.
What's up, Jay?
Unless you're Dan. I mean,
Good morning.
Dan. I think Dan eats it all.
I know.
Hey, I just want to show you something.
He's a fat man trapped in a little guy's body.
I know. I'm
His
sorry.
metabolism is incredible.
I
It
should
really
have
is.
I apologize. I was just excited. I wanted to show
So,
you. I feel like
is
she'll
your
be
daughter
excited.
already
Just
started
today.
school, or
Just
she's getting
today.
ready to
I
start?
like when you get
Oh, no,
excited.
she's
about first grade almost?
Yeah, she's done kindergarten this month.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Okay.
She's doing really well.
Did they have the silly graduation thing for kindergarten?
They're doing, they
Oh,
do
wow.
an end of the year thing. They just sing a couple songs for the parents, and that's pretty much it. They don't do like a full-on graduation. I'm glad.
That's like
It's
monthly.
it
What
makes
the
it seem like a bigger
graduate
deal
from?
than
It
it
was
is.
silly. They did it with our
Yeah.
school, and after I was like one of those guys, we're gonna never do it, and we had to go do it.
I'm
I
like,
looked
you
at
guys,
my-
yeah, it's like, but graduating to what? Like, you're just going on, you got 13 years of this shit. Yeah.
The 8th grade one they do too. Well, that's good.
Not everything's a major accomplishment.
Does she enjoy school?
Yeah, she's doing well.
Some kids just hate it, so if she likes
No,
it, that's awesome.
she's doing well. She's 96 percentile in reading and 93rd in math, so she's doing good. She doesn't try too hard, so that's one of the issues. I got to get her to put a little more effort in.
You ever hear me say about Trey that I got a straight A's too and change shoes to yippies?
Yeah.
That's, you know.
And
that's okay.
That's her. She's like, I only missed 2. I'm like, you missed 2 that you know. I was like, you know those answers. She's like, but I only missed 2 out of 25. I said, but you shouldn't miss any, is my point. But it's at kindergarten level, I'm not going to fight that fight too much, but.
Morning, Jay. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you? Everything good? Hey.
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm great. Great.
These are really good. What is that they put, like a cinnamon cinnamon nuts?
It's cinnamon roll.
It's like a cinnamon roll.
So it's like, yeah.
Oh, they pancake out a cinnamon roll dough? Like
No,
the
they-
same dough
they-
you'd make for a cinnamon roll, they bake
No, it's a pancake.
Yeah.
You put on
that
top.
sounds good.
Pancake with like the cinnamon roll stuff on it.
Like icing and it's good.
Let me at least look at it.
I've got this whole half I didn't
Wanna bite?
touch.
Oh, it looks like a big Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Can I bite?
I got a whole half of it I didn't touch. Now, do they do the same to the one underneath it?
You just gotta put syrup on it.
Oh, I didn't get into that one.
These are so fucking good.
They are really.
They're awesome.
They are.
They are
really
some.
good.
I mean, like, they are unfucking believable.
Thank you, Dan.
John Bigelow, to hire a witch and come and say.
We're gonna hang out with Rob this weekend, Brian.
Rob Adams?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Danny and I are going to the Formula One races with him, so this should be.
Is that down in Miami or?
Yeah, it's the Miami Grand Prix.
Awesome.
So
Tell him I said hey.
I sure will. It's become one of those Grand Prix weekends. It's probably one of the top 5 of 20 races that they do in the world.
Wow.
They have 3 in the USA now.
Did you go to Vegas or no?
No, I heard that one was a shit show, super expensive.
But here's the thing, the prices changed towards the, so like if you wait till next year, hotel rooms are reduced by like 70%. Tickets,
Oh, I don't know.
you get tickets, like VIP tickets for $2,000.
I think if you're in a nice hotel where you don't have to leave, I think
Yeah.
it would be great. I think if you were trying to do the strip, it'd be stupid.
We were out there in October for our anniversary,
Yeah.
a month before they did the event, and it was a shit show then. You couldn't walk
All
on
the
the
construction.
sidewalk in front of the Bellagio. They were putting up all the grandstands, all the street lights, shutting down roads. It
Yeah, when I was there for
awesome.
Ronnie's wedding, they were only 2 weeks out and they had all the infrastructure built.
Yeah, I went out the week after you.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? How big the infrastructure is.
Yeah, it was crazy, and that the fact that they're going to be, I mean, the first time's the hardest. Now they have it kind of,
Well, now they have all the stuff they can just store.
Right.
You know, they built it all this year.
Yeah, they have a storage.
And I'm sure
spot.
they build it all to be portable.
Oh, that's crazy. A lot of it for sure.
You know, and so now they just, those bleachers that they built, they just store, but still, Think about the infrastructure.
So you can stand on the back.
You see, so Brian, you were out there a week after I was there.
Food and catered.
Yeah,
They were pretty much putting the finishing touches on. When
they
I
were
was
putting
there.
on things to block the walkway so people didn't stand on top of the pedestrian bridges to watch the race.
Oh, the tarps and stuff.
They were like this. It was like a film coating that would obscure the view.
Yes.
Yes, they don't want anyone stopping and standing and watching.
Yeah.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Missed part of the show? We got you covered at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Now back to Bubba Live Worldwide.
Boy, do I got a eventful day today. I got to, after the show, run to my apartment and put my big boy clothes on because Pepe graduates today.
All right, nice. Congratulations.
It's a big deal. He walks across the stage today.
And we're not talking about a kindergarten. We're talking about like high school.
No.
College.
No.
It's high school.
No.
Graduate school.
Masters.
Wow. That's awesome.
He's getting his he's walking today for his masters.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
As an architect. He's an architect.
Well, that's not going to be a super long procession. You're not going to have like a 3-hour thing. Not
Well,
at all
I know
for
it's in the Yingling Center. So I mean,
Bubba's got. I mean, Jay, Bubba should really just stay to every graduation, every kid that's going through there today. The future of Tampa Bay.
No.
Bubba,
just to support them.
Yeah, Bubba, the king of radio.
Last night it was like the open house and everything, and I told Merch Crick, no way am I going to that. It was like so like they had that at the architectural school. And it was cap and gown and all this kind of stuff. That was like but the real one where you walk, across the stage, the real one, I told her I'd go to that one. So I have to be there by 1:00 today. We're driving separately.
You going out afterwards?
No. Then from there, I have to drive to Ocala because we have practice tonight on the track. And I got to start laying water. I graded the track last weekend. So the track's pre-graded and we didn't have any weather. The only thing that disrupts a grade would be weather, and we didn't have any weather this week. So, I have to.
Man, those pancakes messed you up, Bubba, didn't they?
I think all of us are trying to. I mean, here's the thing: I'm talking the most so that Dan can continue to stuff.
I'm done eating.
Dan's done eating. Mine stuff's all away. We're just letting you talk because you're riffing, and I got yelled at once already.
Well, I'm just telling you, I'm trying to, get through the rift, put on a pretty good show, and continue to gurge my pancake.
They are good though.
They're so good, and I probably should have stopped a bite and a half ago, but I got stingy. We were counting down. Okay, 10, 9, 8, and they're just so good. I should have never put that last one in my mouth at 7 because I'm fighting it right now. So that being
you're struggling.
Yeah,
you're like choking over there. You're sweating a little bit.
That being said, I gotta go. I gotta watch the graduation. This is his masters.
That's awesome.
So I think this is like kind of a big deal.
It's a very.
it's your stepson. Yeah.
It's not my I'm not married to her, and he's not my stepson.
It's a huge deal for her too, though. It's a real testament to the way that she raised him.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I did tell him, when are you going to get a job?
He's like, I haven't even graduated
yet. I did said, hey, you got your master's now, buddy. Now you got to start going to firms.
Yeah.
And I got to think that architectural firms are a lot like legal firms, and that you have a couple of the old school dudes that have their name on the wall, McGillicuddy and McGillicuddy, and then they got like 4 or 5 main partners that do all the renderings, and then they got a bullpen, kind of like Suits.
Yeah.
Who watches Suits?
I do.
Thank you. Dan, you never got into Suits, did you?
I couldn't.
You Harvey Specter mother effer.
Yeah, well, watch a show about radio.
You're
You said yourself you refuse to watch shows about radio because it irritates the you-know-what out of you.
Listen,
and I can't watch medical shows and I can't watch legal shows because they irritate the S out of me.
Listen to me. You should be watching some legal shows because it make you a better lawyer. Don't think that you're all that as a lawyer. Now, you know what?
You could be a better TV lawyer.
You are all that as a doctor. I would never question your ability as a doctor. You're the highest level doctor. Like, you got all the experience.
He would never tell you to watch Grey's Anatomy.
I would never tell you to watch a doctor's show, but you're not all that as a lawyer, buddy. You don't got near the tenure that Brian and Jay have. I mean, you're just barely a lawyer. I'm just saying.
I've been a lawyer now for 7 years.
I know, but
I finished first in my class. I got 90th percentile on the bar, and I continue to practice law. So I'm still a lawyer. You can say that I'm not like a big boy lawyer.
But you're not.
I wouldn't even say that anymore.
So here's
the
deal.
You wouldn't even say that anymore. You're a big boy lawyer.
I am a big boy lawyer.
I know you're a big boy lawyer.
I know enough about law firms.
So when I tell you to watch it, when I tell you,
it's a BS show.
So when I tell you that I'm enjoying the show, Jay watches it and knows the dynamic because I'm going to. It means so much to me, this little Suits show, that sometimes I'm going to parlay that into a talk break like I am right now.
I understand that part. Hey, did you see that WKRP in Cincinnati?
I would have thought you'd like it for the Meghan Markle thing alone.
I hate her. Yeah.
I know. That's the. I like
Dan.
to look at it to like say, God, she's not really all that.
No, hold on. I hated Meghan Markle until I started watching Suits, and then I quickly turned into a Meghan Markle fan.
No, see, it reaffirmed my dislike for her.
Oh, I love her. But
I don't.
So I have 3 lawyers here. And so, Jay, you are the only one that's familiar with this program and the characters that I would be able to bring up right now.
Okay.
But you're Jessica, Danny's Harvey, and Brian's Mike Ross. Am I not right?
I'm sure that was a compliment. Thank you, Bubba.
No,
Mike Ross is a badass, Brian, but he like kind of puts his thumb on the associates and kind of like manipulates everybody.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's Louis Litt.
Oh, Louis Litt.
That's Louis
Okay,
Litt.
yeah, that's that guy. That's
Mike Ross is the guy who's the smartest. But
the little Wonder Boy. The guy who's not. He's not a lawyer.
He's not really a lawyer.
But
he forged. Hold on, Brian. He's not a lawyer. But when he went to apply to be a lawyer, and he told,
he ends up getting caught for that. My wife watched the show. I did not watch it.
He was taking the bar for people and getting really good scores.
Like getting 170. He was getting 172s on the bar score. Is that good scores?
Yeah, that's
incredible.
Really good.
So then he's running from the cops because he's in the middle of doing something, and he runs into an interview with this guy.
Who would be the equivalent to Dan?
Dan, and he's
Harvey
like, hey,
Specter.
what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm running from the police.
And so the guy goes, he's going to interview, and he opens up his bag, and it's all full of weed because the guy would run. So his job, Brian, Mike Ross's job was for $1,000 he would take your was it 5,000 or 1,000?
Yeah, it was a little more than that. Yeah, it was
for 2,500 he'd take your bar for you and pass you, and then he was just being a courier in New York City slinging weed, and so he's running from the cops about this weed, and he gets into this guy named Harvey Specter's office. He's Dan. He's this big slinging D lawyer, like has all the swagger. He's the biggest dick. He has no emotion. He always wins. He never loses. And if he can't win, he will kill you. And he's the man. He's the absolute man. And so Mike Ross happens to just get into this guy's office because he's hiding from the cops. And Mike Ross says, I'm not an attorney. And so Dan says, well, get the hell out of here. And Mike Ross says, but I can quote you anything in any of your legal books. Because he has a photographic memory and he's read all these books and he's just an absolute genius. And so what Harvey Specter, Jay, says some kind of just obscure law, right? Mm-hmm. And Mike completely reads it back and gives every type of front ways and back ways to it in the whole 9 yards. And so he ends up working there. And Jessica is Jay because Jessica's in charge of the firm. She's real calculated. And she's just super good. She's just really calculated. and mature and thinks about things. Dan is definitely Harvey Specter. Would you not agree?
She is, the managing partner, Brian, of the firm, and it's like more of a traditional size big firm, sort of like when we had our firm. And so
she was kind of just the
I'm
face
sort of a
of the
hybrid
firm.
between the two of them. But yeah, on that show for sure, Danny's Harvey Specter.
Well, I always said you were kind of a cross between Rob and Steven anyways. So that
somewhere
that
in the
makes
middle.
sense.
So
Yeah,
here's
you're in the
my
middle
question to you.
Minuteman 781
Here's my
$10 rant.
Here's my question to you, Diacos. And Dan, you don't have a vote in it.
To Diaco. Here's a question, Jay.
No, hold on. Shut up, Dan. Don't interrupt our question. So let's say let's say Tom Bean buys another, 450 Dominoes. And Tom's like, listen, honey, just stop. I mean, listen, let's just close your practice up. And you're done. I'm worth more money than I got just all types of money. We can live in our cabin. We can stay in our $4 million condo on the beach, or we can live in our $6 million cabin in the mountains, or we can stay here in Tampa. Honey, I just don't want you practicing anymore. And Brian comes to you, Jay, and says, "I want to be a named partner." Diaco Matroni.
Wouldn't do that. But
you wouldn't?
I didn't do it to Regina. Her and I had the discussion. She said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "No, man. Hunter Law is a good, strong name on its own. I don't have the ego that I have to have my name on the door.
Like Dan?
That's just not. I mean, it's not because it's not Diaco and Diaco.
This is why it wouldn't work. Is he just answered the question that you asked me? No, I'm just kidding. Brian and I worked together for years.
Yeah.
I know, but
we were
hold on. If you guys
co-counsel partners for probably 3 years after I left Adams and Diaco.
Okay.
Brian is intricate in helping me start my firm again because I was able to work with Gina. Brian literally gave me his partner office for me because he knew that my ego needed that. And so I was able, in a year, working with Brian, able to leave Gina's office, buy Diaco Law, the building that we're in now, and start my own practice. And so, Brian, I have the utmost respect for Brian. And he's one of those guys that, normally you hear the phrase yes man and it's like a bad thing.
Dan's looking at
It's
you
not
with really
a bad
bad
thing.
eyes right now.
Brian's a yes man. He's never said no, ever. I just don't ask him to do much now at this point in my life because he's a big boy.
Yeah,
right.
no,
He's got his own deal.
And the Diaco family always will have a special place. We play it out on the radio, and it's fun and it's funny and whatnot. But no, Jay is an incredible lawyer, and learning under him and under
Well, I'm
Steven
telling you right
and
now,
Rob.
Jay, you and I have many a time said one of the contributing factors as to why we smoked MJ so bad was Brian's voir dire.
I've got to show you a clip I just did someone just interviewed me on a podcast and they were talking about important
you're doing another
events.
podcast, huh?
No, not me. I was interviewed for someone else's podcast.
That's what I'm
I'll
saying.
send you a link to it.
That's another person's podcast.
I'm sorry. I thought he said I had a podcast. I would never have a podcast without you knowing.
But he did someone else's.
I can't believe
No.
Dominic Ferriello was able to book you.
He did. So one of the things that we talked about, which was incredible, Brian, was how we were able to out-jury select Harvey Moore.
Yeah.
And I referred to you as Wonder Boy, and I said, they had this
God.
piece of paper that was bigger than a conference table, and Brian had 3-ring binders for all the lawyers and for Bubba with photographs, color of who the people were, their social media image, whatever their likes, dislikes were. It was the most incredible thing ever, and I was able to do my closing
where
argument
they worked, where they went to
them.
church, where their kids,
where they lived.
He told me in the middle of a Sunday, he called me one day, and he said, "Do you know what's happening today?" And I'm like, "No, what's happening, Brian?" He's like,
Dan's
whatever
biking
juror
55
number
miles.
is getting a giant tattoo on her arm right now. And I literally said to each other, she hates this case so badly that she's getting an enormous tattoo. And one of the issues was MJ had said his wife had a tramp stamp. And so knowing that she got a tattoo like 4 or 5 days before my closing argument, I looked her right in the face and I said, "A tramp stamp." That's right. I didn't say that. Those were his words. So walk over to look at him. It was just incredible. And at that time, in 2013, no one was doing that. Now I'm sure everyone does it in real time.
I'll tell you this.
And no one could probably do it as well as he did. But
So
I called him Wonder Boy.
Our first day, opening statements. I don't know, we got Zephyr Hills water or whatever kind of water Jay brought that day. And Brian comes up after listen, this is true story. So true story. So we go half the day and then we have a lunch break at 11 and we all come back from lunch and all of our waters are changed out to Aquafina. And I'm like, Brian, I had
Which is terrible water, by the way.
It is.
Dasani.
It is. No, it was Dasani. It was Dasani.
Coca-Cola.
It was Dasani. And I go, Brian, we have a whole case of, Zephyr Hills. You're like, Brian goes, yes, but jury number 4 works for Coca-Cola bottling, and she's going to want to see her brand on your table. And I'm like, you are a effing G. Like, you are an absolute genius. Meanwhile, MJ and all their guys, there's Zephyr Hills in it, all the whole entire trial. Because that's what they offered, and not us, man.
Zephyr Hills was the death of them in their trial.
Well, I'm just saying, Brian knew where jury 3 worked.
Well, no, we also knew like the Star Wars thing. So Jay threw a little bit of these aren't the words you're looking for into his.
Well, what I was
closing.
able to do is First Amendment case. Brian let me know which one was religious and worked for a religious school, and which one was into country music, and which one was into the Bible, and which one was into Grievous and Star Wars. And so I was able to talk about the First Amendment to each of them in a way that they understood. So I said, literally, it doesn't matter if it's a Bible verse or a lyric to a country song, or if it's and I went through each and every one of them, the Bible, and they all understood it.
Oh, remember that
Phil was
one,
just worried about drinking.
That one female juror had dressed up as Hulk Hogan for Halloween.
Yes.
And you said, it's like professional wrestling. It's not, and you
exactly.
So Jay just was able to weave all of that
Hogan.
in so seamlessly.
I can't believe we didn't disqualify her.
No, man, it was.
Well, this was pre. Was this pre-sex?
All that happened afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, Dan, I can't believe you didn't watch. Jay, is Suits cheesy for lawyers?
There's so much backroom stuff that doesn't necessarily really go on that it's a little bit.
It's
cheesy like the one-on-one conversations with the judges that never happened in real life.
Like that exact thing.
The judge will be like
whammy in the first episode.
Like at any time they're in court, the judge will be like, "Be in my chambers," and then it shows both of them arguing back and forth, and the judge will be like, "Put one of them on notice," and like all this. But that's kind of how it goes, doesn't it?
Both of you, not one of you.
Yeah, not one.
It's called an
judge.
ex parte communication. It's forbidden, and so like that one episode where he goes and talks to the judge, and the judge threatens him, and he's like, I basically know what's going on. Remember, he thought he slept with his wife, and he didn't really sleep with his wife.
Now,
and then he ended up. Remember that whole thing? That doesn't happen.
What gestates, or what has to happen for a judge if you guys are going against another counsel, and I know sometimes a judge will call you to the bench. Right? You
mean like at a trial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, will you guys please approach the bench?
Yes.
And that's usually, I think it's always both, so that there's no appellate. I don't think he ever just calls one.
You can't.
Right. So he calls
and the court reporter has to move over to be there if they're not in position to hear everything.
What determines that they go from the bench to the quarters? Like, do they ever, or is it always decided at the bench, or do sometimes they have to go back in the judge's quarters?
They sometimes will remove the jury and do it out in the open courtroom, or sometimes they'll do it in chambers. And in your case, they did both.
So the judge would say in chambers.
Okay, jury, you guys take a recess. We're going to my office. And we go to the office. And
I never got to go back there. Just the attorneys do. Is the judge a real dick back there usually? Like, what's he like back there?
No nonsense.
But can you guys kind of talk as men and candidly a little bit, like a little less lawyer and more of
absolutely not.
Yeah, no,
absolutely
Full
not. I'm sitting there with
court.
that smile that I have to have on my face, that permanent face you have to have. As
that fake
I'm
Willie.
getting the worst rulings in my life, and I have to just sit there and say, "Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you." Literally,
really, as he's just laying the coals.
Yeah, you don't get to just like go and say, "Hey, can I talk to you alone now?" You know what you're doing. It's really like a dick move.
That's why Dan can't go back to quarters. Dan be like, I'm telling you right now, Judge, you're a dick. You ain't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure that's why Dan can't stand watching it, because it's so far-fetched.
But is he not? Does he not just got the Harvey Specter swagger?
Sure.
Oh,
absolutely.
Dan, if you knew who Harvey Specter was, you'd start calling yourself Dan Specter.
I have an idea.
He is the man. He has. By the way, he's got a '72 Ferrari too. Did you know that?
Really?
He's got a '72
Daytona?
Yes, the '72 Daytona Ferrari.
That's cool.
Is that a pretty expensive? I mean, is that a $1 million car?
Now it is. It's close.
I thought Dan was Rodney Dangerfield. Now he's Harvey Specter.
Yes.
How many people is he?
And he also bought pancakes.
You're damn right he did.
And I think has to leave here soon, but I think he's leaving with a substantial lead over Brian.
Oh,
on
he
the
destroyed
money.
me today. Congratulations,
Yeah. I mean,
Dan.
like almost real life.
What's the count, Lummy?
Dan threw the black card down, and Brian's got the $500 American Express Secure Visa.
Jay with 200.
Prepaid card?
Yeah.
Jay with 200.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Jay with 200.
Yep. Babyface with $667.
Right.
And Dr. Dan Diaco Esquire is $953.
Wow. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Incredible. Thanks.
Kanye West to confirm Yeezy porn site and is planning to work with Stormy Daniels' ex-husband. So is he just trying to make like a Yeezy Pornhub kind of deal? Or is it going to be like just African American porn? Or is it going to be like what makes people want to go to Yeezy's porn site? Porn is so good on the internet. Like you don't have to pay for it.
I guess maybe it's DEI porn. I don't know. It has to be something that makes money because he's a money maker. So I'm sure it's got some kind of real high-end profit potential.
I just don't understand why a guy that's that big would need Stormy Daniels' ex-husband for anything.
Usually
Couldn't you
porn
just, like,
is like your
go
last
to the top
resort.
of the top and take care of it yourself?
Yeah, but I don't think Yeezy's doing the porn himself. I mean, if you
no one's suggesting he is.
But having a financial interest in it, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but why? I'm just saying, why does he need the help of Stormy Daniels' ex-husband?
First
to
of
get
all,
in the
mainstream
porn
companies
industry?
won't touch him
I'm pretty
now.
sure if I was trying to get you in the porn industry, I could figure out who the most important
Dan's
person
got his
was,
own porn. We're not
and I
supposed to
could
talk
get
about it.
right there without Stormy Daniels' ex-husband.
Because
I don't
he-
need anybody to get there.
Because he can't get mainstream help right now because he's been blackballed and canceled by the.
Call me up, Yeezy. Let me help you.
No, but Dan's right, Jay. I
I'd represent him in a second. He is right.
Hold
Like,
on.
Trump can't get a good lawyer.
Dan is right, and just like what's happened to me. I've been blackballed from Tampa radio, and I'm basically just a cog above porn.
Superfab of Light
And
50 for Dr. Dan 24K.
Look at that. So porn. That's the one thing that if you're a hot, like Britney, for instance, I don't want to hear Britney's having any financial issues at all. She
Right.
can always literally open up an OnlyFans, do your little crazy bitch knife deal with your little low cut bikini. I don't even know that she's got to show her knockers.
She break the internet.
Yeah, girls always. We don't have that as men. Porn's not usually an option for us. Jay, if everything goes wrong at the law firm, you're not coming back home to candles saying, "Hey, honey, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go.
No one will see your face.
I'm gonna go on porn next week. I'm gonna go on me and Dan are doing porn next week.
That won't go so well.
Cheap Charlie 215, $20. Philly loves Dr. Dan.
Philly loves Dr. Dan.
Cheap Charlie.
Philly's very own. Now, is this classic Heat Reversal 101? Sean P. Diddy Combs files motion to dismiss the revenge porn, and now isn't he countersuing them or gonna try to countersue him?
I don't know, maybe at some point, but the motion to dismiss is just so he doesn't have to answer the complaint yet. He's trying to get it thrown out on some technical reason.
Isn't motion to dismiss
impossible? Yes.
Oh, yes. I mean, like Jay, Brian, between you and Jay, how many of you actually have been granted?
I generally don't. We're not in the business of filing a lot of motions to dismiss because we represent people that are suing, not being sued.
criminals.
When I represented Progressive statewide,
Well,
we had
that, yeah.
10,000 cases for them. We had lawyers filing those types of motions all the time, and if they're granted, it's without prejudice. It's usually because someone made a technical mistake in the way they filed the pleading. We would say, Your Honor, they were supposed to do this, and they'd say, oh, okay. Yes, and they'd say, well, without prejudice, and that means you get 10 days to fix it. And so most of the time, the lawyer would call us and say, oh, my God, I just realized I made a mistake. Can we avoid the hearing? And you say, sure. We don't have to go to the hearing.
Because the judge may grant a hearing, but they're still going to have a chance to play the game once they fix the mistake.
Right, but it's so rare for a judge to just grant a motion to dismiss with prejudice, making that case go away forever. That doesn't happen. That should have happened in your case. Didn't happen.
But does it ever?
Yes.
Like, does it ever?
No, they did. They actually dismissed some of the charges against Trump in the last 2 months.
Well, you can win a
like
partial.
90 some odd charges.
Yeah.
They knocked like 7 or 8 out because they listen. There's motion to dismiss on the front side. Like, listen, you haven't established enough facts to say that there's a crime here, or you're defining a crime that's not a crime.
T-shirt will 20 for Dr. Dan.
That's more of the issue because you're confined to the four corners of the pleading. So you have to say something's deficient in that complaint that makes it impossible for them to prevail. Statute of limitations issues, failure
Naming the wrong party,
failure to establish a critical element of the cause of action.
I didn't know this, and I think I've retweeted it a few times. Tom Bean actually yelled at me about how many times I retweeted the Keith Davidson stuff yesterday.
Thank goodness.
He did. He said, "Listen, stop." I was with Tom Bean. He's like, "Hey, you want everybody to know this? Like, you need to stop with the Keith Davidson stuff, okay?" I'm like, "Okay, Tom, sorry."
I sent you an article from yesterday. I guess that was brought up.
Was
in the trial
the Hogan sex tape?
Yeah.
I sent you the video too.
Yeah, there's I guess Bove, is it Bove, the lawyer for Trump, brought up how Davidson was investigated by state and federal authorities, for example, on the extortion of Hogan in a connection with events in 2012.
Discover hand so he did bring it up, Bubba, but he denied that he was, a focus of the.
But here's what I didn't know. I read one of those articles about Keith Davidson and how slippery he is and all the things he's gotten away with, but I didn't know. And I knew that Brian Albritton had a presentation that he gave Robert O'Neill as to why Hulk Hogan and I made a bad witness.
Bad victims.
Bad victims. And I did not know that Brian Albritton used the following words in the 58 slide report that he gave Robert O'Neill. But he said, me being a victim and being listed as a victim to this crime would be disrespect. This is the actual words that he used. Would be disrespectful to all men and women of the law enforcement community. And I'm thinking, well, obviously nobody did any research about that because the law enforcement community. I happen to be one of the very few people in the media that the law enforcement media love because I'm one of the very few people who has a foundation that's earmarked and its main objective is to write checks to the widows of fallen police officers that have lost their life in the line of duty.
Mike
to
Thurman,
the point,
$100, Team Babyface didn't know Dr. Dan's shirt was sold in an extra small.
And the fact, so I'm talking 7 figures.
And
the
Diaco
Law,
Leo. It's not even funny.
Diaco Law, Elder Ford, Hunter Law, some of my largest contributors. But I didn't know, as part of Brian Albritton's 58 slide presentation to Robert O'Neill, that he actually used those words, that Bubba the Love Sponge, by him being a victim in this particular clown show of a case, would be disrespectful to men and women of Leo. You couldn't have got that any more wrong. There's no other television news personality in this town, radio personality, athlete, journalist, anybody for that matter.
You're right about that.
There's nobody.
Even the pro athletes.
Nobody.
No one's given as much as you to law enforcement. Nobody.
There's pro athletes that have, like Warwick Dunn and stuff like that, where he's given houses away.
Oh, yeah.
I have my niche. My niche is the widows of law enforcement. That's what my niche is.
Yep. No one else has done the volume that you've done. No one.
And so for him to put that in there and for the U.S. Attorney of the Middle District of Florida to buy that just shows you the effery involved in all of this. So and this is very, what happened to me is very, it's kind of on trial right now with what's going on with Trump.
Yep.
This Keith Davidson guy that is testifying, he was the guy that first Stormy Daniels first signed up to be her very first attorney.
Before Avenatti.
Before she fired him for Avenatti. Avenatti now in jail for 14 years.
She has pretty poor choice and taste in attorneys, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Not the best.
And this guy is the one that also brokered the Hogan sex tape.
And Charlie Sheen, $2 million.
President Trump arriving at court today, watching his defense team go on offense, casting a key prosecution witness as out to extort him for money. The defense hoping to discredit Keith Davidson, the lawyer who negotiated payoffs for Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Both threatened to go public with stories of sex with Mr. Trump ahead of the 2016 election. Mr. Trump has denied the allegations of both women and denied any advance knowledge of the payoffs. His defense team suggesting today Davidson had a habit of shaking down celebrities like Charlie Sheen for money. Davidson saying he never extorted anyone, testifying at length about his negotiations with Michael Cohen, Mr. Trump's former attorney, but admitting today he never met nor spoke to the former president. Instead, he dealt exclusively with Cohen, who he painted as desperate and despondent.
No Hulk Hogan mention. Let me.
Well, it's in the article. I don't know what the video.
That then President-elect Trump would not.
Jay, it's like, to me, it's like that's a major. That was actually the shadiest negotiation he ever did, to the point where, out of all the negotiations that Keith Davidson ever did, the only one that was part of an FBI sting that got him nose down and handcuffed for a little bit was the Hulk Hogan one. He was actually detained for a day, at least a day, on the Hulk Hogan. What now?
This isn't the right. You got to X out of this, and you got to scroll down a little bit more.
You didn't tell me that. All right, thank you.
I didn't even see you click on it.
I love her. No big deal. Got a State Farm ad.
State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Oh, God. The neighbor.
That's what I said. Neighbor.
Getting closer.
Right now, our reporting team from inside the courthouse, where Donald Trump has been, just got to our cameras outside the courthouse. Let me bring in MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin and MSNBC contributor and New York Times investigative reporter Sue Craig. They've been in the court overflow room all morning, which is where members of the press can listen to what's going on. Because
what?
They're giddy.
Those bitches are grinning from ear to
glib.
ear.
It's glib.
It's limited space inside the courtroom. Usually when I go to you, Lisa, right when you come out at the lunch break, I ask you, what your big headline is, which I think implies like what was the most important thing legally. But so much of what I read today got my attention, and I imagine got the attention of the jury.
And here's the deal, Jay. These people aren't reporting it near as salacious as it really is.
No, they're trying to downplay who this Keith Davidson character is, and at least it made me feel better. Bubba and I were talking over the weekend, and I was really disappointed if this wasn't going to come up. And I said, if someone doesn't ask the question, that's really just terrible. And so they did ask the question.
But there's one more question that they haven't asked, and that is, maybe you guys being attorneys 3 deep, it's not askable. But can't you ask Keith Davidson on the stand? Are you a cooperating witness with the FBI?
They did ask him something equivalent to that, and he denied being, I think the word was, target of their investigation. And so
no, he's not the target. He's not the target.
I know.
He's the source.
But so they cross-examined him about Charlie Sheen, $2 million, Hulk Hogan, the issue with this, Manny Pacquiao, and Lindsay Lohan. All were cross-examined. So the jury sees what a scumbag this guy is. He's a hired extortionist, and it's called legal extortion. Catch and kill is what you said. Well, I'm not.
Buy and bury,
and
catch
then he
and
said,
kill.
well, do you agree this was hush money? And he said, no, it's consideration.
So
and
I'm
as a
kind
lawyer,
of
that's
asking
a
you a
joke.
two-part question. Is there one thing legal?
But nobody has asked Keith Davidson, did the FBI come to you and use leverage on another case that they had, and they had statute of limitations on the Hogan extortion case, for you to testify against Michael Cohen and hand over all of your correspondence, including text messages, to us that you had with Michael Cohen? Because I don't think that the average attorney, just when the FBI comes rolling up, they just hand this stuff over.
No,
I think they have to have either they got to have your balls in a vice in order for you to, without a subpoena, hand this stuff over.
Well, someone should have asked him, isn't it true that during the Hulk Hogan investigation you were trying to broker the tape and you were put to the ground, handcuffed, and arrested?
Right.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. And then hired Brian Albritton.
And then there was a null pros.
Legally, and another you think may have clicked something for the jury?
I mean, I think the jury, if you're Trump's lawyers and you're trying to discredit this guy, That's very germane in the fact that at one time you were actually arrested by the Tampa FBI and you had to hire the former U.S. attorney to do a 58-page slide presentation to his former assistant, Robert O'Neill, in order to get a no pros on Keith Davidson.
An arrest.
I think that's very germane to the character of this guy.
Except it's not really admissible most of the time. An arrest without a conviction is not usually admissible because
it's different with confidential information.
Why wouldn't you?
Dan doesn't know what he's talking about here, and that's just because this is a very unique situation, Dan. It's not like a typical conviction, and isn't it true you've been convicted of something? This is someone who's a cooperating witness who has seemed to have manipulated the system where there's not an actual record. That he has become, I consider to be almost a CI, a confidential informant, but I think they call it a CW, a cooperating witness. So he went from, we believe, I believe, a target along with Spice Boy to a cooperating witness.
Yeah.
That's hard to prove with any conviction paper, Dan. Like you're saying. Dan's absolutely right. The only way you can actually impeach somebody is, isn't it true you were convicted of this? Nah, he wasn't.
Yeah, you can't talk about arrests or things like that. Yeah. But in this case, you could.
Because he's a cooperating witness.
Because you want to show his bias and also paint him in a light that is not favorable.
So it's different, Dan, than getting an admission for a prior, a criminal conviction.
Having Babyface and Jay in here is going to make you be a better lawyer, my friend.
Take it easy on him.
I'm sure the opposing counsel still would. We have to
get to the case,
object if those questions were asked.
Thanks for the pancakes, Dan. Be quiet.
Legally, the one thing that I think is important to understand.
Dan's winning the money.
Danny, I love you. You're winning the money. You're winning the money. You know that, Danny.
Is that Keith Davidson is no angel, but notwithstanding that, when his client went forward and denied her relationship with Donald Trump, he and she were careful about the language that they used. They didn't see it as inconsistent with the non-disclosure agreement that she signed or with the existence of what actually had transpired between her and Donald Trump. And I'm speaking of Stormy Daniels now. Stormy Daniels wanted the world to know that she had been paid no hush money, that she had no romantic relationship with Donald Trump. But as Keith Davidson testified today, he viewed that as perfectly consistent with the settlement agreement that he negotiated and that Stormy Daniels executed. Why? Because as he, I'm sure will be infamous now, said nobody ever thought there was a romantic relationship between Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump. Rather, it was a sexual encounter. And so Keith Davidson is a very careful witness. He parses his words. That having been said, during the last hour, Emil Bove, who is Donald Trump's lawyer, really tried to dirty him up, and we are swimming in muck right now.
And here's the deal.
Yeah, he got him good, Bubba.
But I don't think they got him near as good as they could have.
Well, you got it. I mean, they're working within
reporting.
the confines of a court, and court rules.
And a court that's against them.
Right. And you know how that goes.
I mean, Brian, you would at least admit intellectually that this court is not.
I don't think they're fans of Donald Trump.
And I don't even think that they're conducting the whole thing fairly. Like, I think it's skewed heavily.
I mean, I haven't been there to see
Alan
or hear
Bragg,
everything.
the guy prosecuting him.
Oh no,
ran on the
very clearly.
Yeah, and the judge's daughter has raised $100 million for various Democratic soft PACs since the trial started.
And he's not allowed to talk.
And he's not allowed to talk.
And the statute of limitations ran. The Federal Elections Commission didn't charge him. They're trying to bootstrap a felony federal crime upon a misdemeanor. It's the most ridiculous stretch ever.
Now he's guilty of the misdemeanor, but that's
he's
it.
Not guilty of the misdemeanor.
The
statute ran on that too.
Well, no, he's guilty of it. The statute may have run on it, but he'd be guilty of a misdemeanor.
Respect to the world in which Keith Davidson lived. If David Pecker was the creme de la creme of gossip, we are no longer in first class. We are living in a world where, as somebody just said to me during the break, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a sex tape broker. Well, guess what? There is, and his name is Keith Davidson, and we are all learning that today.
Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan.
So that's the definition of is.
Ask Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan made about 80 or 90 million on a sex tape broker, Willie. What's that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say this. Keith Davidson basically had it depends what your definition of is. in the release it said romantic relationship. And he's saying, well, that's consistent. They didn't have a romantic relationship. They had a sexual encounter. And so that's the splitting of hairs this freaking guy did.
It is smart. It is a smart
it
argument.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good lawyering.
Yeah.
Could the Trump attorney
Scummy.
could the Trump attorney have asked this question with Michael Cohen on the stand? And it's just simply this question, Mr. Davidson, have you ever been part of an FBI sting involving the FBI at the Sand Pearl Hotel in Tampa, Florida, brokering the Hulk Hogan sex tape?
He'd probably be allowed to ask that.
Yes or no? Yes. Were you arrested in that? Whatever his answer is. Were there no charges filed?
Well, I would even do it more. Isn't it true you were arrested at Sand Pearl on this day? And isn't it true at the time you were arrested for allegedly brokering the sex tape and extortion? That's what you were arrested for, correct? They didn't prosecute you. And it says CW. Doesn't that mean you're a cooperating witness now? That's the way. I mean, you'd have to just do it more with leading questions than asking him to fill it in. Because I mean,
you just lead him and you give him yes or no options.
This is what happened, correct?
Well, it's cross-examination. You're supposed to give only leading questions and very few open-ended questions because it's dangerous.
Yeah, only stuff you know the answer to.
Yes.
Dan, are you so looking for your very first time that you get to go up there and be the man?
I've enjoyed, taking depositions, and I'll cross-examine a witness on the stand.
What? I'll let Dan.
Are you going to be so nervous, Danny?
No, I'll be calm and cool as a cucumber, and I will stick it so far up the witness's A-frame that we will win the case.
So the way that I would, you saw him at my dad's funeral. Dan is an incredible orator, and so the way I think he could most effectively be used in a trial is probably like telling the story in opening statement, where you're not dealing with the rules of evidence, the nuances. By that time, you know what your case theory is going to be, and Danny could give up opening statement.
Especially if there was a medical deal on the deal.
Of course.
Which almost every case has a medical deal. Because it's usually injury,
So Danny would be able to give this beautiful setup opening statement and then use them strategically for expert witnesses. If it was a long trial, a 2-3 week trial, ones that, I can't do every single witness in the entire single trial. We got to split some stuff up. So between he and Scott, I'd probably give Dan some of the medical witnesses.
Right.
And then I'm the closer. I'm not letting anyone take the close. That's me.
So let me move on. Danny, I know you got to go.
Yes.
Jay comes down. We'll just have Jay take your spot. Because Brian, I think you're
all.
Absolutely. I think you're all.
Absolutely.
You're all
fine
locked in
here. I'm got all the negative energy in me right now.
Right.
So.
Yeah. What was the official title? And we didn't even try to establish a game. We just kind of organically stumbled upon this. It was good for business today. Thank you guys.
Grapes texted me that 500 was from me, by the way.
No, we don't have validation.
I'm teasing.
What do you got? The final deal.
Dr. Dan Diaco Esquire, who I believe now is the new belt holder. 1,000.
Oh, does he get the belt?
That's what you said. It would be for the belt. 1,043 and babyface $767.
That's so good.
That was good. It was
awesome. Thank you, everybody.
A decent showing.
Thank you.
I think I got 250. I wasn't even here.
It was a tough fight.
Rhett, does that mean Rhett drops the belt?
That's correct.
Can you put that on your gimp shoulder, Dan?
Rhett,
yes.
Rhett had a good run, though, did he
Much
not?
better.
Yes,
Rhett had a great run.
Rhett had a great run.
For sure.
Rhett was a hell of a champ. He wasn't a Roman Reigns, but Seth, give me somebody else that a real good champion.
Ultra Warrior?
Yeah, sure.
He's laying down
he
the
wasn't
strap.
the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior got the strap on a gimmick.
Randy Orton.
Because Hogan wanted to take his family on a 3-month vacation. That's why they dropped it to the Ultimate Warrior. Please.
Dan now has to walk around all weekend holding that.
Look how happy he is.
He is so, Dan, it's back home, Dan. Congratulations, Dan.
That's what $200 worth of pancakes will get you.
Holy shit, a lot of people have worked here. Glad we built BubbaArmyHQ.com for all the PTSD memories.
Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Thank you, Harvey.
I'll see you at the airport.
Harvey.
A little bit, yeah.
I'll see you. Harvey.
Have a safe trip, guys. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Trip. Dan, just Google.
All right, see you.
Take care.
Dan.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Oh, yes, Bubba.
You need to Google Harvey Specter.
Okay.
Well, he has a flight down to Miami. He can watch a whole episode of Suits on his way down. No excuse.
Are you guys going surfing?
No, they're going to the F1 race in Miami with Rob Adams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mike Thurman says if he gives $300, can I take the belt? Because then I'll technically have won.
I didn't know the F1 race was in Miami.
Oh, hold on. Let's not bury the lead here. Mike Thurman wants to know if I outraise Dan the rest of the show, do I get the strap?
Well, the competition was only for that.
I mean, he can still get donated to while...
We can't go into overtime if the other team's already in the locker room.
That's true.
What up, Maria?
I mean, right? I mean,
But the other
Seth, we
team,
can't
but
go
if the
into
other
a
team
shootout
steps off the
we can't go
field,
into a shootout if
the other team steps off the field with 20 minutes remaining in the game,
Dan's game always ends at 9. I mean, Dan's game, we can show a pattern.
All right, congrats to Dan. Sorry, Mike, save your $300 for another day. Bubba doesn't want your money.
You're still a sex pot.
Hey, I'm shocked that I kept it within 300 of Danny, quite honestly.
You should have worked the MAGA angle more. People forgot.
I know. I should have worn my Trump shirt instead of my Dan shirt.
What's up, J Gator?
I gotta save that for a good day.
What, a MAGA shirt?
I've got a Trump 2024 shirt that a listener sent to me.
Nice.
And I got a Trump silver coin that a listener...
Commemorative coin?
Commemorative silver...
He's very well connected. He can hire the best lawyers in the world. He's smart enough to have alibis. And
yeah,
people are, by and large, scared of him, so they don't come forward and rat him out.
He's capable of being violent.
Costica, what's up, buddy?
I've seen him be violent towards
Pride of Valpo.
I've seen him be violent towards
Love Valpo.
I know one Bud Light. I was told that. Stuff doesn't happen.
Violent meaning, if it's not done my way, we're not doing anything.
It was around this time, Puffy, who told Jet Magazine
There have been rumblings for years that he is not a good dude.
started going like Diddy or P. Diddy.
What do you remember?
During the rise of his career, he had every bit of a sense of unity of being a bad boy.
I do remember that, yeah.
We didn't say the name, but we talked about, we know people personally.
Right.
We actually did.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it could have been crossfade.
Anything that
You
involved.
know what I mean? But I think it may have been nice.
Next time Combs found himself.
Can I say what's up to J Gator?
Yeah.
Dark
No.
match?
Yeah.
It was crazy, right?
I'll try that sometime, Jimmy Jams. Thank you, buddy.
Now under a microscope, he is also the subject of conspiracy theories. Most prominent of which surrounds the mother
Thank you.
of 3 of his children, Kim Porter.
Mike Thurman, what up? Xerxes, how's everybody doing?
Usual list of players are here. Not a lot of Thummins today. Thummins are low.
What up, Grouper Lips?
Don't get into Thummins, Brian. I got you in trouble last time.
Yeah.
That's why you're MAGA.
That's true. But I'll say this. If we can get to 1,000 before the end of the show, I'll wear my Trump shirt next week.
We make a $500 donation to his fucking charity, to his
No, I'm not giving a billionaire money. He's super rich. He doesn't need my money. Right?
Who are you not giving money to?
Donald Trump.
Will you put a Trump sign in your yard?
No, I can't. HOA regulations. I mean, I probably could.
What up,
but I don't
Havoc?
want a Trump sign in my- First of all, I don't want the
I agree
potential
with that, John Z.
backlash that could happen having
The
any
drew's gotta be
political sign.
1 up.
I don't want any political sign in my yard.
All right, Biggie, I'm on it.
Fourth
Thank you,
Good morning,
Stumpy.
V. Brian
I'm trying.
Wilson.
Good morning, Sicilian redneck.
What up, sister girl?
Oh, Big Red's gonna show us how to do a real break. Who's our 5? Who's our fantastic 5,
What's up,
Seth?
Big Red?
Big Country, Nick the Gun Guy, my buddies, Darren, and then, hold on, one's on X.
It's a little less.
Jacob
than
Workman.
sugar. It's like 16
And
here for today.
Derek Loyal.
Pouring our ourselves out one download at a time. BubbaArmyHQ.com. Enlist today. The BRN now continues.
Those damn pancakes.
So good, though.
You
I mean,
still
they're-
eating?
But, well, I mean,
You want the rest of mine, Bubba?
No, I don't. I'm just trying to get mine down, knowing that I probably won't eat till probably about 4 o'clock today.
They're Dan cakes.
But they are so good that you just can't, like, say, okay, I'll eat the other half here. I mean, like, you got to eat. They're just so damn good. You got to eat them all.
Just keep going. We'll do the show. You eat.
Fish on the J. Let me $100 on the PayPal, Venmo app, the Bubba Army, and he wasn't denoting a certain personality that he likes better over the other one. The whole show today was good. So thank you. This next piece, it's kind of fun having the dynamic of 3 attorneys in here. You know what I'm saying? And Dan being the junior league attorney.
You're so I think
he may have to go to therapy after this last session. I was trying to mess with him so bad.
I don't know if today would be a good day as an example of best place to work.
Well, here was the question I was trying to get at, Jay, but you shut me down.
I did?
Yeah, I was like, listen, if Gina closed up shop, and Brian, and you're like, hey, listen, Brian, let's just fold you into us. And although it wouldn't happen, maybe Brian wouldn't ask for it. Brian doesn't need it, okay? But we're make believing here. I like suits. I like lawyer stuff. And you had a vote. I mean, do you have partners like the way suits have partners? Like it's Spectre. What is it? I forget what the.
Yeah, the answer is no.
So it's just Diaco Law.
Yep.
But let's say
Joseph F. Diaco Jr. PA.
Right.
Yeah, not even. There's no Danny in there.
No. So hold on. There's not even a Danny in there.
No, it never had. My PA has been established for many years longer than Danny was a lawyer. So it's a whole.
It's
different
not even.
deal.
It's not even Diaco and Diaco.
No.
Well, let's say that you made.
But I would. Danny and I communicate and consult with everything. I would never do anything without talking.
Would you go
to him about anything.
Diaco, Motrini?
Well, like Brian's saying, he's not so narcissistic as to need to hear his own name.
Or somebody else's name, whoever Motrini is.
I'm sorry.
Mike Thurman, $9.99. Brian's Fleshlight dry cleaning bill.
Now, Brian, do you have Fleshlight on the menu for this weekend? I mean, was it fun enough to do again, or was it a one-timer?
I think, I will tell you this: if there wasn't the cleanup afterwards, I would use it again. But the cleanup
shames you, does it not?
It's depressing.
Yeah, it makes it
depressing.
like, oh my God!
I'm like, why am I doing this? I have a wife. Hold
on. Why am I making love to a simulated vagina when I have a perfectly fine live one right here?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not always willing, but it's there.
Well, but here's the deal. Maybe you only break out the fake one for special occasions when it's hers idea. She's like, hey, honey.
I think he's getting rid of it, Bubba.
Hey, honey, it's the winter solstice.
You want 2 vaginas instead of 1 tonight, baby?
I mean, I guess. I think with your blessing, I'll probably pass it along to the fine people at Waste Management.
No, I think you should offer to a homeless guy.
Homeless guy? Use Fleshlight to a homeless guy?
You think a homeless guy cares?
No, he doesn't.
I mean, a homeless guy, he's just in the woods over there, masturbating.
That doesn't mean he wants to gangbang
Babyface. Why don't you give it to the homeless guy that lives outside
How
your
about
office?
this? I'll sign it and
I think
I'll
a homeless
auction
guy.
it off to the Bubba Army.
Do you still have the box?
I think I think the homeless guy would be like, yeah, thank you.
Right.
I got to sit here and do this with my dirty hands all day. I got something to stick it in.
But that tall black guy that drinks the wine and broke all the windows around that lives at Babyface's office, I guarantee will take that.
Yeah.
He has his own already.
Oh, does he?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that tall black guy will even fit in that thing.
You've seen his too? Did he rub it up on you at dinner one day?
No, I haven't. But he's 7'1", African American, skinny guy. I got to think that he's probably packing.
That reminds me of one of my favorite Stephen Diaco stories. He's going to the bathroom at some event, and Patrick Ewing comes up next to him at the urinal, and Stephen looks up at him and looks down and looks up again. And he goes, "Can you believe that we're the same species?"
True story.
Patrick Ewing's penis is probably the size of Steve's complete arm.
That's what I was gonna say. His forearm.
Yeah, his complete arm.
And Steven goes, "Can you believe we're the same species?"
Can you imagine how big that thing is?
I mean, like Shaq's wife too. I mean, it's got to just be.
Let's sit around and think about it. Who's got
Who do you think got the biggest one?
Yeah, really.
Think Wembanyama's got a big one?
It's probably long and skinny.
Yeah, it's probably got no girth to it. But think about Shaq. I mean, Shaq's probably. I mean, he's a meaty dude anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably got girth on his.
Probably short and fat.
You think he's got a little
chob,
short fatty,
a little chubby?
Yeah.
Little soup can Willie.
Yeah, but it packs a punch.
Right.
Connected.
They're saying P. Diddy has the money and the resources to fight this, and Fox Nation, man, I don't know if this is a hit piece, I don't, or if this is like the truth.
He can hire the best lawyers in the world. He's smart enough to have alibis, and people are by and large scared of him.
Now, has he been arrested yet?
No, he hasn't
He's
been
not.
charged with anything.
So they've only they have evaded it, or they invaded his 3 homes. Was it 2 or 3?
2. I thought it was
Yeah.
Miami and L.A.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, and so
I think they had something. I think there was something in New York
Yeah,
too.
he had like a penthouse or something like that.
So they don't come forward and rat him out.
He's capable of being violent. We've seen it. I've seen him be violent towards producers. I've seen him be violent towards just people, period, not just women, men, people. Violent meaning if it's not done my way, we're not doing anything.
And which, by the way, nothing's been charged.
That's not violence.
Nobody's been arrested. They obviously are on a fact. They're on a hunting expedition. But why doesn't this feel real hit piecey?
Yes. On Diddy?
Yeah. I mean, like it's like a hit piece.
I mean, it's a lot of his own people that he's worked with over the years that are coming out against him.
Puffy,
listen to the
who
music,
told
though.
Jet Magazine he got that name because of his temper, started going by Diddy or P. Diddy.
During the rise of his career, he had every bit of a sense of energy of being a bad boy.
Every time Diddy had gotten into trouble, they called me, and I had to be there to.
Does that guy paint on his face? You think? Does he got like a template? Does he put on?
He's got a tight. He's got a tight line though.
Yeah, he
You
does.
go see his Latin sons down there. They'll get you tight like that.
Or anything that involved him, I had to be there.
The next time Combs found himself in trouble with the law, he was alongside another megastar.
What did he ever get in trouble with her about?
Like some gun, I
There was
thought.
a shoot, a gun
and
at a
girlfriend
nightclub.
In a club.
Jennifer Lopez.
Man, she's hot. Don't ask Nan, but I think she's hot.
And because Diddy's checkered past is now under a microscope, he is also the subject of conspiracy theories, most prominent of which surrounds the mother of 3 of his children, Kim Porter.
Which, by the way, she's hot as hell.
Kim Porter was.
Now, isn't she with 50 Cent now? Or used to be?
Yes.
Isn't she 50's ex or current?
They definitely have a connection.
Yeah.
With Puff for a long time. Kim Porter knows a lot about Diddy.
There were some violent moments in their relationship, but from the inside looking out, those are
I never think I'd ever do something like this about me and go back to my exes and talk to them and everything.
just normal problems that you see people having. But from
Yeah,
the
it's true. I've had my ex-employees pretty much bring me right down to zero.
outside looking in, you might call it violence.
The rumors were, I think she was going to come out with a book. Everybody's saying she was going to come out with a tell-all book about him. And then she
should have. She could have gotten paid.
She got sick and she passed away.
Oh, she died?
Apparently.
Right.
It's news to me.
Rumors that old girl's coming out with a book. Next thing you know, she's dead.
Hey, Bubba, get
died
on
in
Twitter
2000
and tweet out breaking news. Kim Porter, wife of Puff Daddy. dead.
2018.
Shut up with my Twitter skills.
Right now.
Shut up
Happening
with my
now.
breaking news.
Breaking news. Newsflash.
Breaking news.
It's news to me.
I say that 2 or 3 times a day on my Twitter.
I know.
Breaking
It's
news.
usually something that happened a week ago.
It should be just news to me.
Hey, my Twitter feed alone in itself has a whole, it's got a whole thing going on, okay?
I mean, look, guys, he was able to do something that none of you were able to do.
19 days.
Yeah, I mean, Seth, at the end of the day, 19 days. I don't know if you guys clown
19
me or
days
not.
of nonsense.
I don't know if you guys clown. I mean, can I ask you a question?
Of course, Bubba.
Deep down, do the boys behind my back clown me on that? Lummy?
No.
Lummy?
Maybe some of your tweets.
Lummy, put 3 fingers up and promise to tell your Messiah the truth.
Yes.
Behind my back, do the boys clown me that I remind them that I can get? I was able to achieve a level of impressions in 19 days, and you guys haven't been able to do it since we got it back. And how long have we had it back?
We've had it back for probably a year now. And no, they don't clown you on that part. I would say they clown you on possibly...
during fuzzy time when I'm just going crazy?
Yeah, like yesterday you put out a tweet where they had hundreds of American students convert to Islam and participate in Islamic call to prayer at UCLA, which was kind of not good for how all the other tweets you put out, and you put hell yeah and a thumbs up.
No, he did not.
I sent you the tweet, Bubba.
Did he give like the arm thumbs up? I misinterpreted what they were saying. I thought they were saying it was pro-Israel.
No, they're converting to Islam, and you go, hell yeah.
Hold on. If you convert to Islam, doesn't that mean you're turning Jewish?
No. Islamic people hate.
Islam is not Judaism.
Let me delete that one. You have access to our Twitter.
Yes, sir,
delete
I'll delete
that.
it. Yes, sir.
Hold on. I thought that there were kids from UCLA that were changing from rooting for the Palestinians to rooting for the Israelis.
No, if you look at the video, they're all wearing the headdress.
Pro-Islam to me means pro-Israel.
I don't get past the headline. You know that, Lummy.
It's Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. That's conversion to Islam.
Oh. Well, what's so wrong with that?
Well, that's what the Islamic people are, the Palestinians.
Autopsy, she died of natural causes.
Let me listen.
Yeah, I'm deleting that.
Listen, yeah. Go. Just if you see that I've made a clear mistake,
see something, say something.
Yeah. You guys all. By the way, you guys all have access to my Twitter.
So real quick,
don't just sit back here and act like because I could use some help with it. Okay.
What does 5 million impressions on Twitter get you these days?
Monetized.
Oh, so now you're in the line to get money?
No. We've already got our first check.
Oh.
Yes, we've already got our first check. And you know what? Listen, and it was only 19 days worth of checkness, but I'll send you the number.
Okay.
And this is just our very first one. But, I mean, hold on. This was our, we just, again, this is 19 days of it.
Wait for it, Brian.
Listen, screw you, Ret.
So that's about 6 cents a tweet.
Brian, we're not breaking down it, buddy, okay?
It's the beginning.
Bubba did a great job.
I'm teasing you, Bubba. That's a good start for 19 days. That's just 19 days. Don't get mad at me, Fweet. I have another pancake for you.
So are we happy when people are converting to Islam, Bubba? Are we not?
We're deleting that.
Seth,
Okay.
that tweet does not exist anymore.
Okay. I just want to know what the show
and I didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
Everything is alleged. There's a lot of banter and talk about, he might have been involved in this.
The autopsy says she died from pneumonia. But now some people are hoping her death will be reinvestigated. But none of that really stuck or changed the trajectory of his career. You could say he was Teflon Sean. In fact, in 2023, despite all of these allegations, he was given the key to New York City.
And I was like, wow, they gave Puffy the key to New York. And then
That's pretty impressive.
Are you kidding?
I mean, there's a lot of famous athletes and just famous business people and entertainers. And I wonder if Frank Sinatra was ever given probably the key to New York City. But I mean, that's New York City, arguably one of the most, influential cities in the world.
They use that same key to open up all the hotels for the immigrants in New York. No?
You giving them a doom?
I liked it.
That's the MAGA bride.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
Yeah, fuck him, Bubba.
I was trying to give him a fucking attaboy.
It's insanity.
A fucking Johnny Overtalker. Fuck him.
Look at the back of his collar.
Say it, I mean, fuck him.
Fuck him. That's how long you and
Say
I
it with
next to each other. They both can't hear you.
Buddy had a fucking
back
straight fuck
I was
off.
believing shit.
Remember that? That's hilarious.
That was the early age of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so what was that election? Was that 2000?
Fuck off.
That would have been 2008, 2005.
These two fucks can
Or
fuck off.
2004.
They're no Harvey Specter.
2004.
These two fucks can fuck off.
What?
Bubba said, you two fucks can fuck off.
That's not what I said.
You and Jay.
What? Jay didn't do anything wrong.
I was trying to give you an attaboy, and then you just start flapping your fucking gums.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Nope. Sorry's on you, bitch. About to get mines.
You're about to get your pancake.
Hey, Nick, I got a place there.
Yum, yum,
I've been there 25 times.
And emulating how I eat's not going to help your fucking cause.
Chair 4 is coming out by another Bubba impersonation.
I need to figure
What's
out
up,
how to
Nick?
build it out.
We need an exorcism on this seat.
Yeah, right.
Nick, you called me right. You called me 2 seconds after I hung up with Babyface yesterday.
What did you two flakes talk about?
Seth was helping me. I'm accumulating quite the collection of Junior Caminero rookie cards.
I don't know what that means.
He's going to be the next superstar in Major League Baseball, and his cards haven't quite hit the price yet where they're gonna double in price at least when he gets called up to the majors. So you can still get autographs for like $20 of him.
Who did he play for?
The Rays.
Is he good?
He's not just good. He's fucking slaying it.
Thank you, Thorough Man. I loved it too, man. I appreciate it.
Is he Wonderland Franco?
He's better than Wander.
What up, Chris Adams?
All of his girls are at least 16.
Oh, good. Okay.
So, Lummy, is Wonderland going to get out of trouble?
No.
No, he's fucked.
He may not go to prison in the Dominican, but he's not going to play in MLB anymore.
Listen,
Trevor Bauer can't get back in, and he's fucking got the girl who accused him is guilty.
Yeah, and she's like in now more trouble.
Oh, fuck yeah, 69.
Didn't she just get a...
Yeah, she
Rock
got charged.
that shit.
Yeah.
She got charged. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
She's
how
the guilty
the
one.
Operation Pigmentation shirts going? Are they
That's
selling?
a reverse end around double
We slow
blue
down or
thing
it's good
that I've
pace?
seen
Slow down.
all day, right,
Shit.
Tommy?
You think?
We slowed down,
He's going to
guys.
Mexico right
We
now.
slowed down.
I mean,
Trevor Bauer's
he got totally fucked.
We're gonna kill it, Nick. It's gonna be fun, man.
And they desperately need a
That's what I'm
closer.
saying.
Desperately.
They need to go sign him in fucking...
Lummy, why is my phone on dark mode? It will not
Rookie
light up.
Alonzo ball.
Do you have
He went to the
your...
academy the
no,
whole
that's-
game.
yeah,
Thank you,
Year
Longwood. I hope
afterwards
you're doing
for
good, buddy.
Did he date it?
Oh yeah, but it says rookie. It's the
Rookie of the year.
It is the
Well,
rookie
that's
of the
really
year ball.
cool. That's pretty
from
cool.
the year.
Yeah, no, Pete Alonso's awesome Tampa boy.
Yeah.
Making his money up in NYC.
Your shoulder's gonna be right, for the season. Hopefully, you're ready for training.
Lummy, I can't get it off dark mode.
Oh,
never mind. Now it's I got to start
Shed. Hey, Bubba, Maria said she's gonna make her pancakes next Friday.
The Academy's Hall of Fame.
For real? Yeah, you cool with that? I mean,
soccer.
what's that?
Lummy, how do I go to background?
I'm down, Maria.
If you go up to your top and just pull
Thank
it
you,
down.
Grade A's.
Fucking
Stats.
well, there's so many.
I think I saw you on.
So many of them. How do you go to background settings?
Well,
then you go to, if you want to go just the background, go to
most of those guys are gonna flame
settings.
out.
Yeah.
Alonzo ball.
And then there should be a topic in there that says
Junior's not
background.
flaming out though.
General?
Seth, I forgot to tell you yesterday when we were talking.
Well, you got the, go to general.
What happened?
Or are you looking for your brightness?
Yes.
It's your fourth one down, display and brightness. Under general. General control center, action button, display and brightness.
Hold on. General. And then fourth one down is where?
No, get out of general. I'm saying where you see general,
Yeah.
you see control center.
Oh, I got
action,
it, I got
display
it.
and brightness.
Yeah, but look, come here.
So Seth, when we were talking about
See, look
Jackson
how-
Holiday versus Junior Caminero,
Yeah.
Junior came up and hit 235 last season
And if you want to do it
as a
easier, Bubba's like
19-year-old. So I'm not worried
Sit
about him
down.
coming up and hitting 25.
No.
.025.
Can't even do it.
And they
Bubba.
brought him
I
up,
just
and
did
they
it
were
the
in
whole time I was
the
down
thick
there.
of contention last
Yeah, he
year.
played.
Okay,
He
well,
played
just
the
go down. You
playoffs.
get right here. This thing right here.
So that's why I'm not.
And then
That's
you
why
can
I was
just
so
go up and
all
down.
in on
Okay.
him when I saw the
Thank
prices
you.
of his cards versus Jackson
Oh yeah,
Holiday.
dude, he hit 4. He's hit 4 home runs in the last 7 games. We'll take those fucking pancakes next week, Maria. Woo! Pancake Friday, is it a thing? Is it a thing, boys? Okay.
Were you sleeping in and missed the first hour of the show?
Are you ready?
Don't worry, it's all at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Today's show, the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Again, today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. The Bubba the Love Sponge show is sponsored by BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp.com. We all carry around a different set of stressors, big and small. And when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect you negatively. Therapy is a safe place to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest, my friends, with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com
/BTLS.
And with that /BTLS, you'll get 10% off your very first month. That's BETTER, BetterHelp, HELP, BetterHelp.com
/BTLS. Mike Thurman, 1999 super chat is tanning goggle weekend time, boys.
Sorry, I saw that spot.
I know.
Tanny goggles. It's gonna make me laugh till the end of time.
Lummy, I don't think that I was. It was part of my. By the way, my food review of. What is it called?
Portillo's.
Portillo's, yes.
Was supposed to be up. That was supposed to be up yesterday at 5. I had it like Seth. I mean, Rhett might be able to tell you. I was trying to get it up, but I was having some kind of bogged down issue.
I can imagine.
Maybe Erica can tell us about that.
Whatever. And so anyway, I did it, and it's going to be released today. I did it. I had it up. I just was having some internet hot wire. I don't know, but it's going to get up today. It gets posted today at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 different copies of it just sitting there waiting to be processed, and it never started.
And I kept shooting them and shooting. Like I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it again. Maybe I'll try download it again. Maybe it again. So anyway, I will tell you, let me less the priciness.
Yeah.
$11.91 for just the sandwich.
Yeah, but you get the large one.
You got the large, buddy, and that's post-tax.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, that's post. What do you mean? I mean, like
it was like $10.99.
Correct. Yeah, Brian's right.
Well, anyway,
that's expensive as hell, though.
It's a big sandwich.
It's a gigantic beef sandwich.
It's just the state of the economy, though. Right now, a sandwich is routinely $10.
Yeah, but I mean,
craziness.
Public subs have been like $10 for a foot long for a long time.
I know these
$5 foot longs. A lot of years since we had $5 foot longs.
Boy, man, and Jared going to prison ruined that. When does he get out? Does he? You know what? Did you see where, like, he got 16 years, and then the guy that ran his foundation got like 21 years, and then by the way, that was like 5 years after Jared had already been in. They'd finally found some more stuff on this guy. How the founder of Jared's foundation would use his stepdaughter and her girlfriends who are in junior and high school, like 15, 16, and get either his daughter or his stepdaughter's girlfriends and have them spend the night at his stepdaughter's, at his house, which is her house.
Jared Fogle gets out 2030.
He gets out 2030?
Yep.
Let's have him on.
Well, so hold on, let me listen. So the guy who ran his foundation was like getting film footage and all this kind of stuff of all these 15 and 16-year-old girls who went to school with his stepdaughter. But the mom, she was the last one that they got. So she thinks that she's clear, right? And because they have all these tapes of the stepdad doing creepy stuff and all this kind of deal. Well, the daughters go to the cops after stepdad Willie gets put away. Some cop is like, still talking to the daughters and about what happened and stuff. Comes to find out that the mom was actually doing the most of the trafficking, and she got 31. I think 31 years.
Yeah, you watched that documentary too?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's a crazy documentary.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
That's very Epstein-like.
And wasn't he'd been in like Gerald? So if you're the wife of the guy who ran Jared Fogel's foundation, and Jared's been in 6 years, you're thinking you're probably pretty clean, right? You're thinking, okay,
I made it.
Oh, yeah, I made it. Like, what's going to come out now? Well, they kept investigating it. They found out the stepdad or the husband was a real piece of shiz. And then so he gets sent away. She divorces him. Everybody thinks that she's the victim too. She's the innocent little wife. She didn't do anything wrong. They start investigating. So he goes away, but right before he goes away, like, she divorces him, right? I think maybe so she gets the house, maybe she gets more money or something like that. Then about 4 years later, some Indiana State Police was like talking to his daughter about something, and somehow this woman's name comes up that she was running bitches, for it. Like she was doing some very, I mean, to get 30, how many years did she get, Brian?
She got a big sentence. I don't remember, 25, 30, something like that.
27 years.
She did, yeah. She got 10 more years than Jared Fogle. And I think, did Jared Fogle, did he actually touch and molest these kids?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
I don't know that she did that. I think she just groomed them, right? Am I right on that? I don't think
Didn't
that
Jared go to Thailand for his...
Yes, that's a big part of the movie, on all these trips to Asia. And it's bad. It's bad. It's gross.
It's gross.
It's gross.
And a lot of it came out of Sarasota.
Yep.
Remember, there was
of course, there's a Florida connection every time.
There was this dumb woman on some insignificant radio station. It was like, Brian, remember, it was like, like 103.4. Like, it was some just really local, really, really small radio station that this bitch befriended.
Rochelle Herman Waldron.
Yeah, it's like 103.4 The Pigeon or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, right. 103.4 Pigeon Poop Willie or something like that. And she befriends Fogle, and he kind of confesses and tells her the whole deal. The feds then start having her phone lines, wired, and Fogle's, mentioning about all this. I think Brian, she was the one
who brought him down.
Yeah, she was the one that. She was
the Keith Davidson, but she wasn't in trouble with anything.
She wasn't. Keith Davidson hasn't brought anybody down. He's just saved his own ass.
I meant the informant, the cooperating witness.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bubba. Good morning. Mike from Naples.
Hi, Mike from Naples.
Hey, love the lineup. Love the new positive vibes.
Me too.
Really, really killing it.
And you know what? And Dan, and hold on. And Dan and Brian did way better together than I thought it was going to go.
We did a show together for 7 years.
No, I know.
Probably more.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. Not near the infighting. So what can we do for you, buddy?
Good job, Mike.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike. That was a perfect call.
I didn't know that Miley Cyrus was this before I let everybody go for the weekend. Lummy, what you and Rhett doing a show on today?
With Colton.
Can you tell?
And Little Walker will be there for a little bit.
Can you tell Colton?
Oh, we already
that
did.
he better step it up.
We'll be talking about it on the after show.
Yeah, he's ready to defend himself.
Oh, he is.
But by defend himself, he's going to throw Tuttle under the bus.
We will see, Brian. Little Walker will be joining for 30 minutes too. The Random Hero.
I would just let Little Walker run wild through here.
Well, just let him play in the gym, dude.
Nothing to hurt himself there with.
Just make sure you didn't knock over any cameras or anything like that.
He will be under supervision.
I didn't know that the Miley Cyrus deal, like she was part of their family had like a big love triangle whodunit. I never knew that. Did you guys?
No. Billy Ray and who?
It's Noah.
Here he goes.
Noah Cyrus is firing back.
She's missing
nosy
eyebrows.
fans.
No, isn't this Miley's sister?
Yes.
Looks like Marilyn Manson.
She does. Beautiful people. Beautiful people. So this is Miley's younger sister, Noah.
The 24-year-old isn't mincing her words as she confronts online rumors of a family love triangle. More than a month after multiple outlets reported that Miley Cyrus's younger sister was involved romantically with Dominic Purcell before he dated and then married her mom, Tish Cyrus, the singer is responding to a social...
So Noah, the younger sister of Miley, was supposedly hooking up with this dude before he then hooked up with the mom.
Who's way hotter.
The mom is way hotter.
Media comment that references the
Billy Ray should have never left her.
Speculation. After Noah shared a series of pics of
weird.
herself
The whole
at
family
Coachella on
circle think it's
Instagram,
creepy.
April 26th with the caption, Dear Lord, when I get to heaven, please let me bring my man. An IG user took to the comments section to ask which man she was referring to, writing, like that guy you and your mom both have sexy time with?
What are we doing here with
and
this?
Noah wastes no time.
I mean, really.
You don't think it's hot that Miley
she looks like a porcelain doll from hell.
I don't care. Miley Cyrus's mom is hot as hell.
I love that this is what gets macho.
And that's all I care about.
Porcelain doll, evil looking
Yeah,
thing.
that's great.
I'm and firing back with
What you like and what I like might be different. I like the porcelain doll with tattoos that blasted some dude before his mom did.
not safe for work insult, replying, I'm so sorry, but will you please just choke on the fattest just
There
for
you
a
go.
little
Will you
bit.
please choke on the fattest C that you can?
Just for a little bit.
Great. Thanks.
Just for a little bit.
While the harsh clapback doesn't confirm nor deny the rumors, it does mark the first time.
And like, what's this bitch noted for other than being Miley Cyrus's sister? Like, don't you hate people like that? Like, I don't know that I don't know that this bitch has done anything that's made her famous other than being Miley Cyrus's
She had
sister.
a minor role in Hannah Montana.
Noah has publicly commented about the alleged love triangle involving herself, her mom.
Now, am I assuming that her and her sister hate each other? I like Miley Cyrus.
Oh, she was a singer too, Bubba. She had
and
a
stepdad,
on
with no
number
other
46.
member of the Cyrus family commenting on the allegations either so far. E! News previously reached out to reps for Noah, Tish, and Dominic for comment, but did
Look
not
how much
hear
more
back.
normal she looked with
Dominic
eyebrows.
and Tish tied
Yeah.
the knot at Miley's Malibu home last August. However, Noah was seemingly absent from the wedding. Tish, who was married to Billy Ray Cyrus for 30 years
There you go. That's when Billy was doing achy breaky.
before finalizing their divorce in 2023, has been open about her relationship with Dominic, getting candid about how she first met the Prison Break alum on the Call Her Daddy podcast back in February.
Oh, she met him on the Collar Daddy. Who's this dude?
He was in Prison Break. He was the older brother, the hardened criminal with
okay.
the smart guy who
All
wasn't
right.
guilty.
Feeling that she never thought she would get married again.
And everybody kept telling me, like, Mom, like, why would you be alone? You'd only be alone if you choose to be. And I would be like, I just don't believe that. I'm old. No one.
All right, I've seen it.
I
now.
could be
This
with her,
is-
but she couldn't speak. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that voice.
Like maybe get an AI voice converter or something.
I'd rather take one of those little electric voice boxes.
From when the girl that does the tobacco-free Florida deal, and she goes like,
I told Miley not to do that. I did not screw Noah's man.
Lummy, Walker, Colton, and Rhett. Next. Me and Kush out of here. I'm headed to commencement ceremonies. I'll be at the Yingling Center.
Come say hi.
In my big boy pants and my big boy shirt. You're not going to be there, are you?
No, I said it just everybody should come up and mark out to Bubba there.
Leave me alone. I'm driving my Crown Vic there, too. Then I'm going to the track, and I'll be on the grader for a few hours. Then we'll have practice. Then I'll sleep in my trailer. And then I'll wake up at 8 o'clock and grade the track. It's my life. Jay, you're headed to Miami, aren't you?
I am. Formula One, Miami Grand Prix.
Brian, what are you doing this weekend?
Bowling alley for my daughter's 6th birthday. Big party.
Fantastic. Good luck to y'all.
Thanks for letting me finish. You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Co-host and show historian, Lumet.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
And for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.